Pokémon. Starting with Greninja. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. The first chapter's starting Pokémon is Greninja. After waking up, Zumiu was confused. How did this world change? After integrating the memories of his previous life, Zumiu breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, everything is under control. This is the world where elves come. In other words, it is a world where elves and humans live together. As the re-elected champion of the Pokémon contest in his previous life, Zumiu had no objection to the fact that he traveled through time. I actually came to a world where elves exist. I, Zumiu, swear here that I must take my beloved girl and travel around the world and live a free and unrestrained life. What? You said the strongest trainer? Are you kidding? Only a fool would go. It's not easy to come to this world. Only a fool would want to be a trainer. Not only is it exhausting, but it's also full of dangers. You must know that trainers are the profession with the highest mortality rate in this world. No doubt about it. Young man, you can't imagine the dangers in the wild. Strength, self-protection is enough. Why so strong? What can you get by working so hard? It's meaningless. Thinking in his heart, Zumiu began to slowly check the memories of his predecessor, that is, the previous Zumiu. He is 16 years old this year, the only child of an ordinary family. There is nothing special about him, except that he has a father who has been missing for many years. According to the rules of this world, after Zumiu's 16th birthday, he will be considered an adult and can obtain the qualification to officially own an elf. What should I choose for the initial elf? I can't afford the rare ones, and I'm not willing to buy the ordinary ones. Forget it. I'll go to the hatching house later and take it one step at a time. After thinking about it in his mind, Zumiu thought that there was no rush for the initial elf. There is a very important thing waiting for him to do now, that is, drop out of school. What school to go to? Zumiu knows more about elves than the experts in this world. Going to school now is a pure waste of life. If you have that time, you might as well find a good-looking girl, get married, and then travel around the world with your favorite elves. Just kidding. Going to school, that is absolutely impossible. Son, this is sent to you by your father, saying it is a gift for you to become an adult. The door of the room was slowly pushed open, and a middle-aged woman with a few wrinkles on her face stood at the door. Zumiu was stunned. Is this the mother of his world? Okay, Mom, pack up quickly. I'll take you to the hatching house to pick out an elf egg. The mother smiled gently and urged Zumiu softly. Yeah, Zumiu agreed in a daze, and he was relieved when his mother left. He was really uncomfortable with suddenly calling a strange woman mom. But, this is also a poor woman, Zumiu muttered, picking up the small package sent by the bastard dad who had been gone for many years and never showed up again. Since I'm here and occupy this body, you are my mother. If I can see this bastard, I will definitely help you beat him up, Zumiu muttered, and quickly opened the package with his hands. After opening the package, Zumiu was stunned again. Oh my god, a Pokeball? That's right, this bastard he mentioned sent him a Pokeball. Good guy. This is a starting Pokémon specially sent to me because he knows that it's not easy for my mother to be alone and the family's financial situation is not so good. Zumiu still didn't think that this irresponsible man would send him any rare Pokémon. He pouted and opened the Pokeball. A flash of light appeared, and a deep blue Pokémon stood in front of Zumiu. Cool. Damn. The Pokémon and Zumiu spoke at the same time. Greninja? Zumiu's brain froze at that moment. What was going on? This bastard man who never came back actually sent him a Greninja? Could it be that I, Zumiu, also have the potential to be a rich second generation? Did this guy commit any crime outside? Cool. Seeing Zumiu standing there motionless, Greninja was a little confused, but still generously stretched out his hand. Claws. Hello, I am Greninja, the original Pokémon sent by your father to accompany you. Of course, Zumiu didn't understand what Greninja said. But seeing him stretching out his hand as if to say hello, Zumiu also stretched out his hand. Hello, Greninja, I'm Zumiu. The moment the two hands touched, an ethereal voice sounded in Zumiu's mind. The Pokémon sign-in system is activated. The shock Zumu received today has exceeded all of his previous life. Traveling through time, the Pokémon world, the bastard dad sent Greninja. The system is activated. After being stunned for a long time, I got used to it. Zumu slowly withdrew his thoughts, put the system matters aside, and said to Greninja, "Are you sent by my dad? Look, this is reality. Just now I called him a bastard man, and now he has become my dad." "Cool, that's right," Greninja nodded. Zumu swallowed his saliva. "Then you are my initial Pokémon?" "Cool, that's right, that's it. I will be your initial Pokémon from now on." "Cool." Zumu pressed the Pokeball button again and abruptly put Greninja back into the Pokeball. "Okay, then you wait a moment, I'm busy with something," Zumu said to the Pokeball very calmly, and he was ready to see what this system was about. "Cool, okay, you go ahead, little Zumu." Zumu vaguely heard Greninja's response in the Pokeball, and his face was full of black lines. This guy is a bit too active. As for the research of the system, it is very simple. This thing is directly in Zumu's mind. As long as Zumu uses his mind, he can check it. In short, the Pokémon sign-in system is a super tool to help Zumu become the strongest trainer. "Bah, you are the trainer, your whole family is a trainer," Zumu complained casually and continued to study. The system is a virtual panel with many blank slots on it. The first slot is a miniature model of Greninja. Open this slot, and all the information of Greninja will be displayed in front of Zumu. Sprite, Greninja, attributes, water, dark, strength, early king, features, freely transformable. Each time you use a move, your attribute becomes the same as the move's attribute. Skills, flying water shuriken, sneak attack, water wave, water cannon, shadow clone. Sign-in mission. 1. Complete a sprite battle with Greninja at Fengcheng No. 1 Middle School, Bond Transformation. 2. Win the Dawn Gym battle with or using Greninja, Ninjutsu Mastery. 3. Win the National High School League with or using Greninja, Rasengan Chapter 2. I'm really not making a fuss, I want to drop out of school. Zumu looked at the system and frowned unconsciously. Does this really want me to be a trainer? Haha, dream on. Be a trainer? Impossible. Zumu rolled his eyes at the system and muttered to himself, strength is just enough. There is no need to be too strong. If the sky falls, there will be a high one. There are so many strong people in this Pokémon world. I just want to travel around the world happily with my beloved girl. The rest has nothing to do with me. The dog system definitely has a conspiracy. He wants me to become stronger and then help him achieve some ulterior purpose. It must be like this. Bah, I won't be a trainer. I won't become stronger. You dream. After severely despising his own gold finger, Zumu released Greninja again. Cool. As always, Greninja made a coquettish appearance, holding his head with one hand, and the scarf fluttered around his neck. Zumu looked at this guy's coquettish look and was a little speechless. Looking at this guy's appearance, you can probably guess what kind of person that bastard and unreliable father is. Let's go. I'll take you to meet my mother, and then we'll go to school. After washing and changing clothes, Zumu said to Greninja. Greninja was stunned at first, and then nodded quickly. Are you going to meet the mistress so soon? Little Zumu really trusts me. The master is right. Little Zumu is really easy to get along with. So, little Zumu, don't worry. I will definitely protect you. Zumu naturally didn't know that his words had attracted so many thoughts from Greninja. Taking him out of the room, Zumu looked at his mother who was ready to go out, and stepped forward and said, Mom, it seems that we don't need to go to the hatching house to buy the initial elves. Hearing this, the mother looked up at Zumu. Similarly, she saw Greninja standing straight. Cool. Hello, mistress. Greninja greets you. The mother was a little surprised, but as if she thought of something, she quickly calmed down. Hello, Greninja. Greninja gently greeted her and then looked at Zumu. Since we have Greninja, there is really no need to go to the hatching house. You guys sit down and I'll cook for you. Zumu quickly grabbed his mother who was about to get up to cook. Don't bother, Mom. I want to discuss something with you. Seeing Zumu looking at her formally and seriously, Zumu's mother was a little surprised, but she still sat down and waited for Zumu's next words. After clearing his throat, Zoomu saw that his mother was sitting down, and then he said, "I want to drop out of school." "Cool, what?" Greninja and Zoo's mother asked almost at the same time. "Yes, I want to drop out of school." Seeing that Zoomu didn't seem to be joking at all, Zoo's mother quickly asked, "Why, did he say something to you?" The he she was talking about was naturally the old unreliable man who had been missing for many years. "No, Mom, don't worry, I didn't see him, it was my own idea to drop out of school." When Zoomu said it was his own idea, Zoo's mother relaxed, but she still looked at Zoomu with some worry. "It's like this, Mom, I don't think the school can help me much. I don't want to be a trainer, nor do I want to be a strong man, I just want to live a peaceful life. So, I want to drop out of school and see the world in my own way." Zoo's mother was stunned again and again, looking at Zoomu's face full of longing. She began to doubt from the bottom of her heart whether the old man had given the child some kind of magic potion. "What is seeing the world? Have you thought it through?" Zoomu nodded. "Okay, then I'll contact your teacher now." Zoo's mother is just an ordinary housewife who may have never left Feng Cheng in her life. In her eyes, her son is her only one, her hope, reliance, and sustenance. Since Zoomu has his own ideas, what she has to do is to support him, not to stop him. "No, Mom, I'll go by myself." After Zoomu finished speaking, he was about to go out. When Greninja saw Zoomu was about to go out, he shouted, "Cool, Zoomu, take me with you." Hearing this frog call, Zoomu remembered that he had forgotten this guy. Okay, I'll take you with me. It's just right for us to go and register." In this world, whether a trainer or not, citizens have the right to own a Pokémon, but they have to go through registration, otherwise they will be regarded as illegally traded Pokémon or for other purposes, and will be taken to drink tea by the Alliance. Feng Cheng No. 1 Middle School, Zoomu's school. Although it is Saturday today, the security guard is still dedicated to his post. Taking out his student ID, Zoomu walked into the campus generously. As for Greninja, it has been collected by Zoomu in the Pokeball. After all, it has not been registered yet, so it is better to keep a low profile to avoid unnecessary trouble. All the way to the principal's office, Zoomu knocked on the door. "Come in." A woman's voice came from inside. Zoomu was a little confused. Why is it a woman? Isn't the principal an old man? Pushing open the door, Zoomu understood. It turned out that the school leaders were in a meeting. "I think our school should still try its best to get a place in this competition." Seeing Zoomu coming in, the old principal stopped what he was saying and asked in confusion, "Who are you?" "Hello, principal, I am a student in class 16 of grade 3, my name is Zoomu." Zoomu first introduced himself, and then without giving these people a chance to speak, he said directly, "I am here to apply for withdrawal." "Withdraw, withdraw, withdraw, withdraw?" As soon as these words came out, the entire principal's office fell silent. Feng Cheng No. 1 Middle School. This is one of the top 100 middle schools in the country. It has the country's top teaching staff, teaching facilities, and a large number of teaching elves. Countless parents are trying their best to send their children here to study, so that they can get a good score in the unified examination and be admitted to an excellent college. As a result, this young man now opens his mouth and says that he wants to drop out. "Can you make this decision, student Zoomu?" The dean of teaching stood up and stepped forward, looking at Zoomu gloomily. "You should go back and discuss it with your family. This is not something you, a child, can decide. You are still young. The teacher will take you as a joke. Don't mess around next time." As he said that, he stretched out his hand, indicating that Zoomu could leave. Seeing that everyone did not believe him, or did not take him seriously, Zoomu could not help but shook his head and smiled bitterly. "I really want to drop out of school. My family agrees." As soon as Zoomu finished speaking, "Nonsense!" The vice principal stood up suddenly. "If you don't go to school now, what can you do in the future? Do you want to work as a bricklayer at a construction site, or work hard to make a living? Now there are such good resources and environment in front of you, you can use them and help you grow, but you don't cherish them." Chapter 3, The Anger of the School Leaders. Elves fighting. "If you don't go to school, what will you do in the future?" The vice principal wore round glasses and a simple formal suit, looking like an old scholar. Seeing that Zumu really wanted to drop out of school, he immediately scolded him with anger. Zumu was stunned by the vice principal's scolding. What can I do if I don't go to school? I can do a lot of things, right? I seem to have heard this kind of words countless times in my previous life. How come I can still hear this kind of earnest teachings after traveling through time? If I don't go to school, I will travel around the world. Also, what the school teaches now is not very useful to me. This is not what I want to learn, nor what I need to use. I don't want to be a trainer. At this point, Zumu raised his head and looked at the principal. Is this enough? The principal still didn't speak. Everyone fell silent. It seems that there is nothing wrong with not wanting to become a trainer. Dropping out of school doesn't seem to be a problem. But, do you have the ability to protect yourself? Now there are secret realms all over the world. Almost every day, there will be secret realms of varying sizes coming to us. Danger is always there. The ferocity of the elves in the wild is far beyond your imagination. Do you know all this? The vice principal asked. After hearing this, Zumu realized that the old man didn't seem to be targeting him simply, but as a teacher, the sense of responsibility made him stand on the opposite side of himself. I know, I also have the ability to protect myself, Zumu still said seriously. Puff. The dean of teaching suddenly laughed. Student Zumu, the elves in the secret realm are extremely wild, and it is common for them to actively attack humans. You are a student who has just obtained the initial elf. What qualifications do you have to say that you can protect yourself? In the wild, even if you encounter an ordinary big wolfhound, you will die. The Dean of Teaching's words won the unanimous agreement of the school leaders present. Indeed, the secret realm of elves has been in this world for more than 300 years. Although humans can now reasonably use and dominate many secret realms, and have found ways to coexist harmoniously with elves, however, there are still secret realms that descend on all parts of the world every day. The location, time, and strength of these new secret realms are all unknown. Therefore, the danger still exists, which is why trainers have the highest mortality rate. I really can. Zumu was helpless. He had a king-level Greninja in his hand. Do you think it can protect itself? Let alone self-protection. With the strength of this early king, if Greninja goes to sweep some small secret realms, there will be absolutely no problem. Okay, in this case, let's talk about it with battles. No one believed Zumu's words. You are a primary school student who has just obtained the initial elves, or a student who has not yet obtained the initial elves. What qualifications do you have to say such big words? Since this kid is not dead until he reaches the Yellow River, let's teach him a lesson. Several leaders looked at each other and said it was feasible. Use the simplest way to resolve conflicts in this world, and fight if you don't agree. Old you, play with this child. The principal spoke, and he instructed the Dean of Teaching Yu Hailong. Yu Hailong nodded quickly. It should have been done a long time ago. This child was spoiled by his family. He just needed to be educated properly. Okay, since the principal has said so, let's do it. But if I beat Director Yu, can I drop out of school? Seeing that Zumu was still calm, the vice principal was furious. Don't say it. If you can win, I will help you drop out of school without the principal. Zumu slowly breathed a sigh of relief after hearing this. Okay, then let's do it. In the gymnasium of Fengcheng No. 1 Middle School, on a huge arena, Zumu and the director of teaching Yu Hailong stood at the two ends of the arena respectively. Both sides use one Pokémon. If one side is unable to fight, the game ends. The referee was teacher who was pulled over casually. He stood in the middle of the arena with two small flags. Zumu and Yu Hailong nodded at the same time, and then released their Pokémon at the same time. Lizard King, Grenin, Chamo, who are you? I'll chop you in half. Cool. I, Greninja, am willing to go through fire and water for the Zoo family for generations. Two Pokémons, one blue and one green, stood facing each other. A smell of gunpowder slowly filled the venue. What? Greninja? Nonsense. How can he, a student, command an adult Pokémon like Greninja? What kind of background does his family have, to use such a Pokémon as his starting Pokémon? This is harming this child. Starting Pokémons are the ones with the deepest bond with the trainer, but this Greninja is obviously not trained by Zumu, which will greatly affect Zumu's growth. That's right, What's the situation in his family? Why are adults messing around? The moment the school leaders saw Greninja, their anger was far greater than shock. Yes, since Zumu has the confidence, it proves that he should have some foundation. Although a Greninja is a bit unexpected, it can still be barely accepted. Who knows if this student is some hidden super rich second generation, or if there is any strong person in his family. However, even if there is someone at home, you shouldn't give an unfamiliar Pokémon to a student as a starting Pokémon, right? What if the Pokémon doesn't listen to your command? That would be a disaster for a newcomer. It would affect him for the rest of his life. Zumu looked at Greninja's back, not panicking at all. Wouldn't he know what the school leaders were thinking? Impossible. Zumu was naturally aware of their concerns. When the Pokémon's level is high and the trainer's strength is insufficient, the Pokémon will not listen to the trainer's instructions. But who am I? I am the re-elected champion of the Pokémon Global Championship. The tactics in my mind are enough to crush all the trainers in this world. I am Zumu. Greninja, the opponent doesn't seem to be strong. Remember to be gentle when you attack. Cool, got it? Little Zumu. One person and one pet only had a short exchange, and they had already determined what the other person was thinking, especially Greninja. At this moment, he was extremely excited. Finally, it's time to fight. Come on, let little Zumu see my strength. Thinking of this, Greninja suddenly began to imagine a scene of himself and Zumu fighting side by side. Cool, Zumu should be able to command me, so should I listen? If I listen, what if I lose? Wouldn't it be embarrassing? If I don't listen, what if Zumu is unhappy? Just as he was thinking in his mind, the referee said, "Now, the game begins." Chapter 4, The Ruthless Vice Principal. Greninja, Shadow Clone, Flying Water Shuriken. Zumu commanded Greninja without any awkwardness. In the era when Z was popular, one of Zumu's ace main pets was Greninja. Moreover, Zumu had already learned what skills his Pokémon mastered through the help of the system. Cool. Seeing Zumu's order, Greninja immediately entered the combat state. This guy usually likes to use his brain, but once he enters the battle, he immediately empties his brain. Go all out. Shadow Clone and Water Shuriken are Greninja's signature skills. Almost instinctively, Greninja instantly transformed into more than a dozen clones, and at the same time, each clone condensed a powerful Water Shuriken on its hands. Lizard King, dodge the attack with a flash of lightning, and then use the blade. Chamo. The Lizard King has been with Yuhei Long for many years, so there is no need to say much about his combat instincts. With a flash of lightning, he rushed out like lightning, running left and right, preparing to dodge the next attack. However, bang! The gap in strength cannot be easily made up. Almost in an instant, the Lizard King was hit by the attack of the Greninja and flew backwards. The Grass type resists the Water type attack, but in the face of the huge gap in strength, resistance is also limited. It is obviously not enough for a Lizard King at the peak of the elite to withstand the attack of the King level. Boom! At the moment when the Lizard King was knocked away, Zumu shouted, "Evil Wave!" The Greninja attacked at the same time. The Black Wave attacked the Lizard King again before it could react. When the smoke dissipated, the winner was decided. Everyone opened their mouths and looked at Zumu in surprise. Yuhei Long even widened his eyes and stared at Zumu without blinking. What kind of monster is this? This terrifying battle rhythm, this powerful Greninja, is this kid a freak? Early King, the knowledgeable old principal immediately judged the true strength of Greninja. His 4 words shocked the already extremely shocked school leaders again. Zumu could just sit there and get used to it, but they couldn't. This student is not worthy of being called a student. You are just an early stage king, and it is inappropriate for you to bully Yuhei Long, the school principal who is stuck at the peak of the elite level. Ding. Greninja sign-in mission 1. Completed. Complete a Pokémon battle with Greninja at Fengcheng No. 1 Middle School. Reward Greninja with a bond transformation. The system's voice suddenly sounded. Zumu was stunned at the time. What the hell? Damn system, you really screwed me. I don't want to become stronger. What's the point of rewarding me with this transformation? Even if you give me more transformations, I won't be a trainer, so give up. Good guy, you actually tricked me without me knowing it. You are really something. System. Zumu thought with gritted teeth. constantly complaining about the system in his heart, and completely forgot to manage his facial expressions. Yuhei Long saw that Zumu still looked dissatisfied after winning against him, gritted his teeth and cursed, and collapsed on the spot. "What do you mean? You haven't had enough fun? I'm an elite trainer, so I'm not worthy of being your opponent, right?" "Well, I'm really not worthy." Retracting the Lizard King helplessly, Yuhei Long shook his head and prepared to walk off the ring. At this moment, something strange happened. Greninja, who was posing coquettishly on the field, suddenly turned around and knelt on one knee facing Zumu. "Cool, I'm Greninja, meeting the little master." At this moment, Greninja changed the way he addressed Zumu, not little Zumu, but little master. After the brief cooperation just now, whether it was Zumu's calmness on the spot, or his calm aura, or his confidence in strategizing, Greninja felt all of these. It has to be said that in some aspects, Greninja even felt that Zumu, the little master, might be better than his father. Therefore, this moment of loyalty represents the true recognition of Greninja. It was no longer Zumu's father's order to accompany Zumu, but he was truly willing to follow Zumu as his master. Zumu nodded, and slowly walked forward to help Greninja up. At the moment when Zumu's hand touched Greninja's body, a white light suddenly lit up on Greninja's body. It was a bond transformation. "Hold it, don't show this form," Zumu whispered. There were so many people now, and there was no need to expose the trump card of Bond's transformation so easily. Even if it really had to be exposed, it would be after he had a strong foundation. Greninja felt this powerful force surging from deep within his body, and instinctively wanted to receive this power. But Zumu's words made him calm down quickly. Obeying orders is the most basic quality of an excellent ninja. Resisting the attraction of power to himself, Greninja stopped transforming. The school leaders only saw a flash of white light on Greninja's body, and then there was no change, so they didn't care too much. What's there to care about? Could Greninja be able to evolve again? Don't tell me. It's really possible. Ahem. Can I drop out of school now? Zumu said helplessly as he walked in front of the school leaders with Greninja. Because he dropped out of school, he was tricked by the dog system once, which made Greninja stronger, but as long as he can drop out of school, it's acceptable. After all, Greninja is already very strong, and it won't be a big problem to be stronger, as long as he doesn't become a trainer and keeps his original intention. It's not a big problem. Drop out of school? The school leaders were silent, but the old scholar-like vice principal took the initiative to talk. He stepped forward and looked at Zumu in confusion, and said slowly, "What do you mean by dropping out? Who said that?" As he said that, he first looked at the principal, and then at Yuhei Long. Finally, he touched his beard and took out a small notebook with a serious face. "I clearly remember that you came to apply for a year of leave of absence. Just come back to take the exam before the unified exam next year. It seems like that." Hearing what he said, Yuhei Long reacted instantly. He said quickly, "That's right, Principal Liu, that's what happened." Zumu was a little dumbfounded. "Aren't you an old scholar? Aren't you a teacher? How come you can swallow back what you said?" "Ahem, I think that for a genius like Zumu, going to school has really delayed his development. How about this? Let Zumu represent our school in the National High School League. If Zumu wins the championship for our school, then it's not impossible to have a one-year-long vacation." It was the principal who got to the point in one sentence. After he said this, everyone quickly agreed. Only Zumu stood there with a confused look on his face. "What league? What championship?" "I didn't agree." Chapter 5, Careful and Brave Charmander. "I don't want to participate in any competitions, and I don't need to take a year off. Just let me drop out." Zumu was very dissatisfied with the arrangement he had made for no reason. His idea was very simple, 2 words, drop out. Then find a girl he likes, travel around the world, and enjoy the wonders of the elf world. As for the academy and the unified examination, Zumu said that it didn't matter at all. "I don't care." "Zumu, what's the good of dropping out? Look, you don't even have the identity of a proper trainer now. If you meet a elf you like in the future, you won't have the chance to subdue it. Also, if you want to become a trainer, you need to go through various assessments in various academies, which is very troublesome. But now, Our school has a quota for new trainers to register without taking the exam. As long as you are willing to participate, this quota is yours. How convenient it is. Yuhei Long said that he had never been so considerate in his life. He really couldn't stand Zumyu. He was obviously a genius, but he had to degenerate. If it were other students, he, as the dean of teaching, would just give him a lesson. But Zumyu, he couldn't beat him. He could only stand in Zumyu's perspective and persuade Zumyu not to be impulsive. Dropping out of school is not so good, but not dropping out has many benefits. The principal nodded on the side, which means that the trainer exemption quota promised by Yuhei Long can be given. Also, you are a newcomer and you are carrying a king Pokémon. It's a bit shocking to say it out. I will give you a little one later. The principal is the principal, and he must be generous. Zumyu has been tempted by the benefits promised by these two people. Indeed, after integrating the memories of his predecessor, Zumyu also knew that if there is no trainer status in this world, then there can only be one Pokémon. It is simply impossible to let a time traveler have only one Pokémon quota. Therefore, Zumyu said that he didn't want to become a trainer, but in the end he still wanted to be really fragrant. However, getting the status of a new trainer is enough. This is just a cover. My ideal is still to travel around the world and have beautiful girls. Okay, you have convinced me. Zumyu spread his hands helplessly, saying that you won the qualification of a new trainer without taking an exam, plus a Pokémon given by the principal, and a long vacation of 1 year. It's just a game, why not? Seeing Zumyu agreed, the old principal smiled with satisfaction. The young man is not so hopeless. Let's go. Let Director Yu handle your leave of absence procedures for you. Go to my house first. I will take you to pick a Pokémon from my house. After the principal said this, the eyes of the school leaders around him were red. What? Go to your house to pick? Wouldn't that be? Zumyu didn't know the situation, so he agreed indifferently and followed the old principal out. Only a bunch of school leaders were left on the spot, looking at Zumyu and the old principal's backs with envy, swallowing their saliva crazily. The old principal's real name is Zhao Tanyang. Although he is only the principal of a middle school in Fengcheng, he is a half-buried man after all, who doesn't have a story. When Zhao Tanyang was young, he participated in the Alliance's research and protection plan on fire Pokémon. As a genius of the time, he is naturally the focus of training. This also led to the fact that all the elves in Zhao Tanyang's hands were fire elves without exception. Now Tanyang is old, and his elves are also old. After living in Fengcheng for many years, most of the elves have left descendants, and the descendants of these old elves are exactly the reason why the school leaders are jealous. Standing in the yard of the old principal's house, Zumyu admitted that he was indeed a little shocked. Several little fire dragons were rolling and playing on the ground, and the little fire monkey and the fireball mouse were using their heads to push each other to compete in strength. Here, there are many fire elves from the 3 major families: Big Brother, Flame Chicken, Charizard, Second Brother. Principal, you mean, I can choose one of the little guys here to be my partner? Zumyu was amazed. This old principal is simply a treasure. How rare the fire elves in this yard are. Needless to say, now the old principal's yard is full of the initial forms of the 3 major families of fire elves, which is simply amazing. Well, go take a look at these little guys and see which one suits your temper. When Zumyu heard the old principal's words, he was no longer polite and hurried forward to the front of the little Charmanders. Charizard is a must-have Pokémon for time travelers, whether in terms of appearance or strength. Zumyu was no exception. He took a fancy to these little guys at first sight. However, he still needed to investigate which one to take away. Seeing Zumyu walk to the side of the little Charmander, the old principal smiled and said, "These little guys are all top-notch talents. They are the descendants of my old friend." Zumyu nodded. He didn't care about qualifications. "I don't want to be a trainer. What do I need such strong qualifications for? It's okay." Looking at the few playful little Charmanders, Zumyu thought about it and began to observe them carefully. Charmander, the evolution of Charmander, is one of Zumyu's favorite Pokémon. Since there is this opportunity, Zumyu will naturally choose a little Charmander. Of course, you must choose carefully before choosing. This one won't work. It's too lively and must be very competitive. This one is not good either. It's biting and nibbling at its companions. It's definitely belligerent. And this one, why is this one practicing collision moves? Absolutely unacceptable. Looking around, after passing them one by one, Zumu finally found a Charmander he wanted. This little guy is staring at the sky in a daze. Good guy, everyone else is playing, and you are staring at the sky. This kind of unmotivated look definitely meets my standard. It's you. Without saying anything, Zumu directly selected the little guy who was staring at the sky. Principal, I think it's this one. The principal looked in the direction of Zumu's finger. He was stunned immediately. Sure enough, everything has been destined in the dark. In this case, then you can go with him. I hope he can meet your standards. The Charmander who was staring at the sky squinted his eyes. Did you choose me? I am also a Pokémon with a trainer now. Well, since I have been chosen, I will no longer hide my strength. It's time to see the outside world. Sure enough, Charmander had just had a hunch in his heart, and the principal walked towards him. He is Zumu, and he will be your trainer from now on. Charmander slowly opened his eyes and began to look at Zumu. Bang! Zumu's Pokeball opened automatically, and Greninja suddenly appeared. Cool, there is a strong breath. Zumu was a little confused when he saw Greninja suddenly appear, but he still took the initiative to introduce. This Charmander will be our partner from now on. What do you think? Greninja narrowed his eyes and looked at Charmander carefully. At the same time, Charmander also looked at Greninja seriously. Strong. Both sides evaluated each other in their hearts at the same time. Chapter 6. The system is always calculating me. Zumu, who was totally unaware, didn't know that he had successfully misjudged the situation. This Charmander, who was thought to be a weakling, was actually a cautious monster who had been training in the novice village for 3,000 years. He patted Greninja on the shoulder and said with a smile, "Relax, don't scare your new companion." Greninja turned around and saw that Zumu had spoken, so he stopped looking at Charmander. Cool, let's spar when we have time. Charmander shrank his head when he heard this. What's going on? Are there so many strong people outside? I haven't even left the novice village yet, and I've encountered such a strong guy who wants to fight me. No, it seems that I still have to be cautious. I can't waste time before I'm absolutely strong. Stay calm, Charmander. You can do it. Zumu had no idea that his two Pokémon had so many tricks in their minds. He was still thinking happily that it was great to get assaulted Charmander. The dog system actually wanted me to become a trainer. Haha, impossible. I don't believe that such a weak and lazy little guy can be made stronger by the system. The more he thought about it, the happier he became. Zumu opened the slot on the system that belonged to Charmander. Then, his face turned green. Principal, is it too late for me to change one? The principal looked at Zumu, who was holding the Charmander Pokeball and wanted to change the Pokémon with a bitter face, and refused on the spot. Are you kidding? I finally sent this little guy away. Can I let him come back to wreak havoc in my backyard? This Charmander refused to go out in the past few years. He just stayed in the yard, fighting with the Pokémon in the yard every day. Ha, it's good now. He's finally sent away. Zumu raised his head and looked at the blue sky. I don't know why the sunlight is so dazzling. I seem to have been fooled again. This time it's not the system. I fooled myself. This Charmander has nothing to do with weakness. Okay, forget it. Being strong doesn't mean you are a trainer. I still have a chance to turn back. I absolutely can't give the system any chance to fool me again. Pokémon, Charmander, Attribute, Fire, Strength. Early stage of Pseudo King. Features: Solar Power, Attack Power increases in sunny weather. Skills: Overheat, Big Explosion, Jet of Flame, Sunshine Flame, Tile Splitting, Iron Tail. Primal Power, Sign in Mission. 1. Win a Lava Gym battle with or using Charmander, Charmander X Evolution Stone. 2. Win the National High School League with or using Charmander, Dragon Power Awakening. 3. Win a battle with Charmander in the Secret Realm Charmander Valley with or using Charmander, Crimson Fireworks. Yes, this is Charmander's attribute panel. His strength is that of a Pseudo King. You read that right. This Charmander has been around for several years and has refused to go out even if it means death. He has resisted the urge to evolve in order to survive. He will become a big boss if he survives until the end. Only by surviving can he survive to the end. This is Charmander's philosophy of survival. Therefore, he has relied on the novice village, which is the backyard of the Dean, to gain experience by bullying these weak Pokémons. Finally, step by step, he has become the current level, a Super Charmander in the early stage of the Pseudo-King. So, once I participate in this National League, it means that I will passively complete 2 tasks. Zumu's face gradually became melancholy. This dog system really doesn't miss any opportunity to make himself stronger. It's simply too much. Following the principal all the way to the Pokémon Center, after the old principal showed his identity and took out relevant documents, Zumu soon received the honor of a rookie trainer. Ding! Congratulations to the host for becoming a rookie trainer. The distance to the strongest trainer is just around the corner. Come on, host. What the hell? Come on, I became a trainer. You are very proud, right? There is no need to jump out and tell me if you are proud. Believe it or not, I uninstalled it for you, bastard. Zumu roared in his heart, but it didn't work. The system suddenly jumped out, and after a wave of presents, there was no movement. The old principal saw Zumu's ruddy face and seemed very excited. I couldn't help but chuckle. When I was a kid and just became a rookie trainer, I was as excited as you. I didn't sleep all night. Good guy. It would have been better if the old principal hadn't said that. When he said that, Zumu felt like his heart was stabbed countless times. Who is excited? You are excited. If it weren't for these broken rules, do you think I am willing to have this broken identity of a rookie trainer? Zumu's mentality is about to explode. Every day, you stab me in the back? Are you all maxed out in backstabs? After registering Greninja and Charmander in the Pokémon Center under his name, Zumu went home with a dark face. The old principal behind him reminded him loudly, "Don't forget that we are going to Yancheng tomorrow. The preliminaries will start the day after tomorrow. I will sign you up when I go back." Zumu walked home without looking back. He didn't want to say a word now. Participate in the competition, and the 2 sign-in tasks will be completed. I dare not think about it. My Pokémon is getting stronger and stronger, and the system's conspiracy will succeed sooner or later. Damn it. Heartbroken, Zumu returned home, where his mother was cooking for him. Have you completed the procedures for dropping out? Oh my god. Zumu's mother's gentle greeting made Zumu feel hit hard again. Mom, did you know that I would not be able to complete the withdrawal, so you were so confident that I would go to school? No. Zumu lowered his head helplessly and sat silently at the dining table. Seeing that he was a little depressed, Zu's mother was quite confused, but she didn't ask much. She just gently comforted him. It's okay, the school doesn't allow you to drop out, but we have to understand the teacher's intentions. They are doing this for your own good. Bang! Zumu felt that his young heart was hit hard again. Oh my god, for my own good? Are they doing this for my own good? Didn't they want me to participate in the competition and not let me drop out? Thinking of the old face of the vice principal who went back on his word and had no integrity, Zumu was even more angry. It's okay. If you really don't want to go to school, I'll ask for leave for you. As long as you're happy, I'll do whatever you want. Zumu, who was sulking, looked up blankly when he heard what his mother said. Mother Zu still smiled gently and said softly, Mom doesn't have much ability, but I can still make my son live a happy life. With tears in his eyes, Zumu seemed to have returned to his previous life in a trance. Even if he has accomplished nothing, his mother will still stand behind him and firmly believe in him. With a sour nose, Zumu forced a smile. Mom, it's okay, you don't have to ask for leave for me. The principal said that I have to participate in a league. I have to go to Yancheng tomorrow. If everything goes well, I won't be back until next month. Don't worry about me. Wait for me to bring you a big trophy to let you know that your son is also very good. Chapter 7, Willing to go through fire and water for the Zu family. Zu's mother pursed her lips and slowly exhaled through her nose. Okay, my son is the best. You sit here and I'll serve you some food. The moment she turned around, Zu's mother raised her hand and wiped her eyes without leaving any trace. My son, it seems like he has grown up suddenly. The next morning, Zoomu packed his luggage. In fact, it was nothing, just 2 sets of clothes to change. Mom has transferred the money to your card. Don't be too frugal when you are out there. Don't be wronged, Zoo's mother solemnly instructed before leaving. Cool, madam. Don't worry. I will take good care of the little master. Before Zoomu had time to agree, he saw Greninja jump out of the Pokeball by himself, patting his chest and assuring Zoo's mother. With his fuss, the originally sad little farewell suddenly became a little more cheerful. Okay, then I'll leave it to you, Greninja, Zoo's mother said to Greninja with a smile. Cool, don't worry, I'm willing to go through fire and water for the Zoo family for generations, and I won't refuse. Fortunately, Zoomu didn't understand the language of the elves, otherwise he would definitely cut open the brain of Koga Ninja to see what was in this guy's head. Zoo's mother said a few more words, and then she watched Zoomu leave reluctantly. A mother worries when her son is 1,000 miles away. That's exactly the case. The way to Yancheng was the old principal's car. Yuhei Long was responsible for driving, and Zoomu and the old principal sat in the back seat. How was Charmander last night? Is he still adapting? The old principal took the initiative to find a topic and asked. When this was mentioned, Zoomu looked at the old man with a smirk on his face speechlessly. Is there any need to ask this? Don't you know what the temperament of the elf in your backyard is? Very adaptable. He didn't even leave the Pokeball last night. I asked him to come out and sleep with me, but he said he would do nothing. After hearing this, the old principal laughed unkindly. This Charmander must be worried that sleeping outside would cause accidents and danger. As an overly cautious guy, he would do such a thing, and the old principal was not surprised at all. Zoomu pouted and looked out the window. Old man, what do you think will happen if I don't win this time? He was really a little scared now. This dog system was like Pinzai's eye, and it seemed that it could monitor his life at any time. If he continued like this, he would sooner or later be tricked by the system into becoming the strongest trainer. Then, he would be assigned some impossible tasks to send himself to death. The principal chuckled and didn't even look at Zoomu. With your current strength, if you can lose, even a pig can climb a tree. What if? Zoomu laughed dryly and asked. The old principal snorted coldly. If you lose, I will cancel your leave and let you go to school for another year. Zoomu heard this and curled his lips helplessly. This life is unbearable. Are you all NPCs sent by the system to arrange for me? First, you tricked me into becoming a rookie trainer, then let me participate in the competition, and gave me a Charmander in the early stage of the Pseudo King. Principal, you tell me, how much money the system gives you? I, Zoomu, will give you double. Along the way, the old principal chatted with Zoomu about some topics related to Pokemon from time to time. Zoomu was also bored, so he chatted with him for a while. What energy cubes? What elf props? After all, Zoomu had mostly theoretical knowledge and had never seen the real thing. The old principal was also knowledgeable, and Zoomu benefited a lot from chatting with him. This is it. This is your room. The three of them entered the hotel, and the old principal handed a room card to Zoomu. He handed another room card to Yuhei Long. Director Yu, I'm sorry to bother you to accompany Zoomu to participate in the competition during this period. Remember to keep the invoices for the expenses during the period and go back to see if you can reimburse them. Yuhei Long heard this and looked at the old principal in confusion. Principal, how can you not reimburse me? The old principal smiled proudly. The situation in which I don't reimburse you is that Zoomu doesn't want to win the championship and deliberately loses the game. As he said that, he patted Yuhei Long on the shoulder. So, Director Yu, you have a very important responsibility. Zoomu is still young, you must be responsible for guiding his thoughts correctly. Well, Yuhei Long accepted his fate and simply shut up, watching the old principal leave with Zoomu. After the old principal walked away, Zoomu said, Director Yu, the car seems to have been driven back by the principal. Yuhei Long smiled indifferently. Normal. He is worried that you will run away. Zoomu was puzzled. Can you stop me if I want to run? Forget it. Forget it. This old guy's mind is hard to understand. During this period, I will take care of your food and daily life. You just need to play well in the competition. Tell me what you want to eat and I will order takeout for you. Yuhei Long said, and walked back with Zoomu. Behind this hotel is a large square, and many trainers are active around there. Then there is a training hall in the south. If you need professional training, go to the training hall. Remember to get an invoice for consumption. After speaking, Yu Long also walked to the door of his room. Take a break first. Call me when you're hungry, otherwise, let's go have dinner together at 6 o'clock. Yu Long closed the door with a bang. Yu also returned to his room, put down his backpack, and called out Greninja and Charmander. Cool, where is this? Greninja was fine. After coming out of the Pokeball, it just looked around and didn't do anything excessive. But Charmander, the first thing this little thing did when it came out was to hide behind Greninja. After carefully looking around and confirming that this was a closed room, he began to act. First, he looked around for surveillance equipment or traces of superpowers, and then he sniffed around to see if there was an ambush in the room. After he was sure it was safe, he stood in front of Yu with confidence. Chew, safe. Yu looked at his Charmander with a frown on his face. He opened his mouth, but didn't know what to say. Forget it, just let him be. This is where we will live for a while. We will participate in a competition the day after tomorrow. Upon hearing about the competition, Greninja patted his chest instantly, showing a very strong look. Cool, are you going to fight? I'll do it. I, Greninja, am willing to serve the Zoo family for generations. Stop. Although Yu didn't understand, he could guess what Greninja was going to say. Reaching out to stop this guy from continuing to imagine, Yu said helplessly, I don't have any other requirements. Just remember to be gentle when you compete. Charmander objected loudly when he heard this. Chew, showing mercy? Impossible. Even a lion will use all its strength to fight a rabbit. I won't give my opponent any chance to turn the tables. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We are waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 8. Challenging the Gym's Pokemon alone. Charmander is a very cautious guy. It is impossible for him to hold back in the battle. If possible, Charmander would not even want to fight in this life. When he becomes a being that can fight against the legendary beasts, he may choose to show up. In the evening, Yu went out to have dinner with Yu Long and bought some energy cubes for the two elves. When Yu returned to the hotel room, he almost died on the spot. Greninja and Charmander, these two guys are actually training in the room. Are you so motivated? I am your trainer after all. I haven't arranged a training plan for you yet, and you came by yourself? Give me some face, okay? Seeing Yu guarding the door, Greninja, who was standing upside down on one finger, stood up quickly. Cool, don't praise me, little master, I have always been so diligent. Yu stared at Greninja for a long time with wide eyes, but he couldn't say a word of blame after all. There is no way. Pokemon are independent individuals with their own thoughts. Yu cannot force them to change according to his own ideas just because they follow him. Forget it. Since you like it, then do it this way. As long as you don't stick to your original intention and don't become a trainer, it doesn't matter how you DOS. Ahem, you are really hard-working. Ha, this is the energy cube and Pokemon food I bought for you. See if it suits your appetite. With a dry cough, Yu tried to speak in the most peaceful tone. When Greninja saw that Yu bought him food, he hurried forward to take it, thinking happily, Little master, are you feeling sorry for me because I am too tired from training? Don't worry, I will definitely become stronger and help the little master become the strongest trainer. Charmander, eat something first. There is no rush for training. Ha, it's better not to train. Yu tried to let Charmander stop training. Chew Yo-Yo, let him eat first, I will come over after training. Charmander had no intention of stopping, and was still training himself with sweat all over his forehead. Seeing this, Yu could only shake his head helplessly. My Pokemon can train independently. It's so hard for me. Seeing Yu sitting on the bed and playing with his mobile phone, Greninja was eating. Charmander sniffed slightly. Fortunately, Yu should not have been fooled, and the food he bought should be fine. But I'd better wait and see if the frog is okay after eating. Zumu always looks unreliable. It seems that I should not only pay attention to my own safety in the future, but also take care of this trainer. It's so hard for me. Charmander, thinking in his heart. Charmander secretly glanced at Greninja with his peripheral vision. He calculated the time in his mind. If the frog was fine after half an hour, he would enjoy the food. There is no way. This world is too dangerous, and survival requires caution. Zumu had no idea what the two Pokémon were thinking. He was looking at the city navigation of Yancheng at this moment. Yancheng is most famous for the lava stream of the active volcano. There is a famous secret place here, the Fire Dragon Valley. There are also the most beautiful hot springs in the world. And Yancheng's lava gym is located at the foot of the volcano. If you come to Yancheng and don't experience this volcanic feast, it's a waste of time. Listening to the beautiful voice of the young lady in the navigation video, Zumu was fascinated. This young lady has such a beautiful voice. She must be very beautiful. It's so hot near the volcano. The young lady should not be wearing much, right? TSK. I've decided to go to the volcano tomorrow to see it. Zumu was almost drooling with greed, and he made up his mind to go to see the young lady who was not wearing much tomorrow. The Koga Ninja who was eating on the side noticed Zumu's expression. What is the little master thinking about? Lava gym? I seem to have heard the master talk about this thing. While Koga Ninja was thinking, Charmander came to his side. Half an hour has passed. The frog is fine, and the food is fine. Charmander took a can of Pokémon food and opened it himself, sat on the ground and started eating. Cool. Do you know the lava gym? Chuck. I know. I heard that trainers need to defeat gyms to prove their strength. If they get gym badges, they can participate in higher level leagues. Charmander is the Pokémon of the Dean's house after all. He knows a lot of basic common sense about trainers. Well, he is just afraid of death, so he is trying his best to learn. Cool. Look, the little master seems to be very yearning for this gym. Chuck. Don't say it. His expression is so strange. Cool. I haven't done anything for the little master in such a long time. How about we practice more tonight? When Charmander heard about practicing more, he was instantly full of motivation. It's good to become stronger. If you become stronger, you can live longer. Chuck. Frog. Tell me how to do it. Cool. I said, don't call me Frog. I'm a ninja. Chuck. Okay Frog. Cool. Are you looking for death? Charmander admitted that he was scared. Chirp. Okay, Ninja, it's just that I'm strong. What's so great about that? I haven't evolved yet, and you won't be able to do anything when I evolve. Thinking indignantly, Charmander became curious about the extra training in the evening. Chirp. How to train? Greninja smiled mysteriously and shook his finger. Cool, you'll know it in the evening. At 11:30 p.m., Zumu was already asleep. Two figures quietly slipped out of the room. Lava gym. Close the door. There shouldn't be any more challengers today. Chen-Chi yawned and ordered his disciples. Master, there are people outside. No, two Pokémon. They defeated so many of us. Hearing this, Chen-Chi was a little confused. Is it a wild Pokémon? It shouldn't be. Let's go. I'll go and see. Arriving at the battlefield of the gym, Chen-Chi looked at a Greninja calmly defeating his disciples' Pokémon in surprise. Next to him stood a Charmander that looked ordinary. Are you wild Pokémon? Chen-Chi asked, stopping the disciples who wanted to continue the fight. Cool. No, we are here to challenge the gym. Greninja shook his head and explained. Bang! Chen-Chi released the fire Pokémon from the Pokeball. Buoy. They are here to fight. After fire Pokémon's translation, Chen-Chi finally understood that these two guys were here to challenge the gym. Where is your trainer? Cool. We don't need a trainer to defeat you, just the two of us. Chapter 9. So that monster is you? 10 minutes later, Greninja calmly held out his hand to Chen-Chi. Cool. Where's that badge? Give it to me. Chen-Chi was confused and had no choice but to hand the badge to Greninja. After the blue frog left with Charmander, Chen-Chi snorted coldly with a dark face. Close the door. Close tomorrow. Closed. The disciples did not dare to speak and quickly closed the gym. Cool. Then it's Charizard Valley, right? Greninja easily solved the gym. and it felt meaningless. Charmander also yawned out of boredom. Chew, according to the smell, it should be over there. Greninja heard the words and casually waved his hand. Come on, dead dog. The next day, Zumu opened his eyes and saw Greninja and Charmander sleeping obediently beside his bed, revealing a kind smile like an old father. The elves are so cute. It's great to be in this world. While sighing in his heart, Zumu heard the system's prompt. Congratulations to the host for completing the Charmander sign-in mission 1, and winning a lava gym battle with or using Charmander. Reward the host Charizard X Evolution Stone. Please keep up the good work and become the strongest trainer. Congratulations to the host for completing the Charmander sign-in mission 3, and winning a battle with Charmander in the secret realm Charmander Valley. Reward Charmander to obtain the Crimson Lotus Karma Fire. Please keep up the good work and become the strongest trainer. Zumu was instantly confused. What's going on? I just took a nap. The system is stuck, right? If you want me to be a trainer, you don't have to use such a despicable method. My goodness, I haven't done anything yet, and you're already helping me complete the mission? You might as well just become a trainer yourself. What do you need me as your host for? Zumu was furious, and madly attacked this damn system. Host, please be careful when speaking. The system will never do anything subjective. Bullshit. You even learn to reply to me? Good fellow, are you intelligent? Are you being controlled by someone, hiding in the dark and observing me? Come out, you damn system, I'll die, and we'll fight to the death. Zumu cursed madly in his heart, but the system never responded and simply ignored him. After cursing for a while, Zumu was tired of scolding, and he calmed down and began to observe his two elves. Then, the more he looked, the more wrong it was. Why are these two guys so dirty? And why is there a black spot on the butt of the little dragon? Was it burned? Could these two guys have gone out to fight in the gym while I was asleep? A terrifying thought came to Zumu's mind. No, how could my elf be so proactive? I'm a salted fish. Zumu was comforting himself with self-deception, and suddenly heard footsteps coming from outside the door. Then, dong dong dong. Someone knocked on the door. Zumu got down to the ground, looked through the cat's eye, and saw that it was Yuhei Long, so he opened the door. Yuhei Long entered the room and put the breakfast he had just bought on the table. He said excitedly, "Boy, do you know that there is big news outside? I just heard someone say that the lava gym was challenged last night." In the middle of the night, the gym owner Chen Shi was challenged by 6 people and was directly beaten to autism. They will not open the gym today, Yuhei Long said, afraid that Zumu would not believe it, so he took out his mobile phone. "Look, this is it. It's on the local headlines." Zumu took the phone with a heartache, and swiped the news with a look of despair on his face. "Director, do you know what Pokémon the challenger used?" Yuhei Long saw Zumu's interest and smiled proudly. "Of course, I asked specifically. It is said that there are 2 Pokémon who challenged the gym, and their trainers did not come. These 2 Pokémon are one blue and one red. They seem to be Greninja, and there is also a Charmander." After Yuhei Long finished speaking, Greninja, who was sleeping beside the bed, seemed to hear someone calling his name. "Cool." He raised his head in a daze, greeted Yuhei Long, and then buried his head in sleep. He was too tired last night. There were too many top bosses in the Charizard Valley. Seeing Greninja greeting him, the smug smile on Yuhei Long's face gradually stiffened. Looking at Charmander, who didn't even raise his head, Yuhei Long suddenly realized. Seeing Yuhei Long understood, Zumu smiled bitterly and shook his head. "I said, I just found out too. Do you believe it?" Yuhei Long also shook his head. "Do you think I believe it? Are you still human?" Chen Shi is a well-known gym trainer after all. "What happened? You didn't even go, but you beat them 1 against 6? Doesn't the gym owner have any face?" Seeing Yuhei Long's face gradually become weird, Zumu sighed helplessly. "What do you think I want? I knew this news as soon as I woke up. Do you think I am willing? Ahem. This won't affect anything, right?" Zumu coughed dryly and asked worriedly. Yuhei Long thought about it and hesitated. "It should be. This time, Master Chen Shi seems to be a special guest in the Rookie League, but the competition is based on strength, so it shouldn't have any impact." Zoom thought about it and it seemed to be true. Okay, since it doesn't affect the game, then it's not a big problem. Gym Master, aren't they just for fighting? The fight is over. Can I still blame Greninja? Even if my Pokémon stabs me in the back, Zoom will accept it with a smile. Okay, then I'll keep a low profile these 2 days and try not to take them out. Zoom nodded, took out a bun and took a bite. I still have to eat and do things. I can't delay my life just because I abused a weak person. It doesn't matter, it's just a gym master. Just fight. Yuhei Long was secretly surprised to see Zoom eating and drinking calmly. Good boy, such a big thing. You can still eat breakfast here so calmly, as expected of a genius from our #1 middle school. He is different. Well, tell me if you need anything. I'll go with you to the preliminary round tomorrow, Yuhei Long said, and began to introduce the process of the competition to Zoom. There are many people participating in this competition. There are 4 rounds of preliminary rounds in total. You have to go through these 4 rounds of one-on-one selections, and then the main competition. Zoom nodded, indicating that it was not a big problem. For the main competition, most of them are geniuses from various middle schools, and they are also students with the status of rookie trainers. So it will be a 2-on-2 duel. Yuhei Long continued to speak, and Zoom listened carefully. But the two of them didn't know that the Charmander who seemed to be sleeping beside them was quietly squinting his eyes. There are many games to play. It seems that I have to become stronger. Chapter 10. Be gentle, don't burn it. The preliminaries have begun. Zoom brought his 2 elves and calmly entered the preparation area. After casually observing the surroundings, Zoom was shocked to find that there were so many beautiful young ladies. Thinking that he could travel around the world after playing the Rookie League this time, Zoom couldn't help but get a little anxious. He said that he would take his beloved girl with him, but until now, he seemed to have not said a word to a woman except his mother. This can't go on, Zoom. Beautiful girls will not take the initiative to find you. You have to take action. After secretly cheering himself up, Zoom was ready to go forward and find a young lady who suits his eyes to chat. Contestant number 741, please go to venue number 6. The voice of the broadcast sounded. Zoom looked at his number, which was 741, and immediately curled his lips helplessly. Well, I miss the beautiful young ladies again. Getting up and going to the player channel, Zoom strode to venue number 6. His opponent was a little fat man. Please choose the elves you will fight against. The referee has presided over several games, and his feet are numb from the standing. Seeing the 2 players enter the field, he didn't waste any words and directly asked both sides to release their elves. Zoom thought about it, and in line with the principle of keeping a low profile, he chose Charmander. Charmander, this is our first battle together. Please give me your advice. Kai, don't worry, Zoom. I can spray this guy to death with one mouthful. Glancing at the giant crab on the opposite side with disdain, Charmander snorted. He had just merged with the Red Lotus flame, and now he felt that even if a stone was placed in front of him, he could easily melt it. Water system? No problem. The fat man on the opposite side saw Zoom sending out a Charmander, and was stunned for a moment, and then laughed wantonly. Giant crab, do you see that little guy? Be gentle, don't crush him. Seeing that both players had chosen their elves, the referee quickly said, you all know the rules. Now, the game begins. As soon as he finished speaking, Zoom's Charmander hit the giant crab with a mouthful of purgatory. Then, the giant crab was dizzy and his whole body was black, as if it had been roasted. The game is over, and the winner is player number 741. TSK. Zoom secretly smacked his lips. This game was too unchallenging. He didn't have time to say a few trash words to the little fat guy, and the game was over. Little Charmander, you can just use the jet of flames. Why use purgatory? Aren't you afraid of burning him? Zoom helplessly picked up the little Charmander and deliberately blamed him. The little fat guy who was so arrogant just now looked at his elf with a blank face. What happened? The game just started and it ended. Me, what did I go through? The referee couldn't help but gasp when he saw Zoom's killing and heartbreaking finishing blow. The young people nowadays are so cruel. He just mocked him, and it's okay for you to kill the opponent in seconds. but you also want to finish him in a Versailles way. This method is comparable to that of the trainer who challenged the gym leader Chen Qi alone against 6 people without going in person. TSK. Player number 741 can be rated as the top seed level, and will be assigned to Group D in the main competition, he said to the communicator, and the referee couldn't help but feel a little toothache when he saw Zumu's attitude of holding his head high and chest out. Back in the preparation area, Zumu was too lazy to treat Charmander. It was unnecessary. He just killed the opponent in seconds and was not injured. What's the point of treatment? However, Charmander didn't think so. Seeing that there were medical equipment in the preparation area, Charmander hurriedly pulled Zumu to the doctor, then he jumped onto the equipment, looking like he was going to check my body quickly. Zumu looked at Charmander with a dark face. You are healthier than a calf. Why do you need to check your ass? Chew, hurry up. I'm lying down. Come and check if I have any hidden injuries, especially my right foot, which was sprained 3 years ago. The doctor didn't understand and thought that Charmander was really injured after the battle. He rolled his eyes at Zumu and thought to himself, how could there be such an irresponsible trainer who doesn't know how to treat his Pokémon? Zumu was so tired. Am I not going to treat him? Does he need treatment? However, since Charmander was lying down, Zumu could only say helplessly, please, doctor, check my Charmander. 10 minutes later, Charmander, who was determined to have no problems except for a little hair loss on his butt, smiled with satisfaction. With a vigorous step and a handful of medicine in his hand, Charmander followed Zumu. Medicine? Don't mention it. Zumu was upset when he mentioned it. Just after the physical examination, Charmander saw someone selling medicine from somewhere. He couldn't walk right away, and grabbed Zumu and insisted on buying it. He bought 10 copies. Poor Zumu's wallet, you know. Healing medicine is still quite expensive. With a long sigh, Zumu looked back at the happy little fire dragon, and could only smile helplessly. Forget it. As long as this guy is happy, it's better to be cautious, so that you can live longer. There are a total of 4 rounds in the preliminaries. Because there are so many people, 10 venues are open at the same time, and each player has 1 game in the morning and afternoon. The preliminaries can be completed in just 2 days. Zumu was idle anyway, and his game would not be until the afternoon, so he took the initiative to come to the viewing area and began to observe the quality of the female players this session. It's about their strength. He would never admit that he is an old pervert. Cool. What is the little master watching with relish? Chirp. I don't know. Are you watching noobs fighting each other? Cool. I don't understand. The 2 elves watched Zumu for the whole morning and felt a little bored. Cool. After the game ends tomorrow, we will go to Charizard Valley for extra training in the evening. Charmander became excited when he heard about extra training. Chew. Okay. Last time that Charizard burned my butt, this time I will definitely burn all his hair. Zumu didn't know that while he was watching the young lady's game, his 2 elves had made an extra training plan again. If he knew, he would definitely try his best to stop these 2 guys. It's enough to be strong. Why do you have to be so strong? It's meaningless. I'm not a trainer. You guys should be quiet, please. Zumu watched the morning game until the end, and then he took the 2 elves to the restaurant. On the way, a young girl with red hair suddenly blocked Zumu's way. Zumu was stunned, thinking that the young lady was attracted by his handsome appearance and came to ask for his phone number. As a result, the young girl suddenly pointed at Zumu and shouted, I finally found you. Chapter 11. The hot-tempered sister you fan. Me? Zumu was confused. It's a bit confusing. Wait a minute. You finally found me? What's going on? Did I abandon you? This shouldn't be the case. According to the original owner's memory, this Zumu is an old innocent boy who has been single for more than 10 years, not to mention having experienced a beautiful love. The last time he held hands with a girl seemed to be in elementary school. At that time, it was the teacher who insisted that the desk mates shake hands and introduce themselves, and Zumu had the memory of his first close contact with a girl. Yes, it's you. Don't even think about running away. The young lady looked at Zumu angrily, as if she wanted to eat Zumu alive. Indeed, Zumu was a little panicked at this moment. Master Zu, who was always calm, felt a little scared under the fierce gaze of the young lady. After confirming again and again that he had never seen this young lady, Zumu asked with courage, "I won't run away. Can you tell me what's going on?" The young lady's anger did not decrease at all because of Zumu's frankness. Still staring at Zumu angrily, she shouted, "Don't pretend to be innocent. Think about what you have done." "What have I done? I have been in the hotel these 2 days and have done nothing." "I don't know what you are talking about. You can just say it if you have something to say." Due to the dispute between the two, some spectators and contestants who were about to leave stopped and began to watch. Some people even began to imagine the plot. This is definitely a script for the young lady to tear up the scumbag. "Okay, then I'll say it straight. Did you do the lava gym thing? Did my master offend you? Do you want to make him lose face in this way? Do you know how much humiliation you have caused our lava gym?" The young lady accused Zumu of his crimes, and there was even a hint of tears in her voice at the end. At this moment, Zumu understood. "I said, there is no love without reason, and there is no hatred without reason. There must be a cause and an effect. I, Zumu, am upright and have never cheated on any girl. Even if I tear up the scumbag, it won't be torn on my head." It turns out that the real reason is here. Lava Gym. Looking back at Greninja and Charmander who were pretending to be indifferent, Zumu smiled helplessly. "Look at the good things you have done, the trouble you have caused, and now you want me to clean up the mess. Can't you feel a little guilty? This matter is because I didn't take good care of my Pokémon and caused trouble to the Lava Gym. I'm sorry. But, isn't the gym open for people to challenge? Do I have to apologize to you in return after I challenged the gym and won?" Zumu said in a tone as calm as possible, and then he ignored the young lady and led the 2 Pokémon to leave. He thought he was not wrong, but the way of challenging was a little inappropriate. The young lady looked at Zumu's back, and her hands trembled with anger. The tears of grievance were in her eyes, and they almost fell. "Okay, then I'll wait for you in the main competition. My name is Yufan, remember it." Leaving this sentence to Zumu, the young lady ran away from the audience quickly. She found that she couldn't argue with Zumu, and since she couldn't argue, she would fight. However, the young lady seemed to have forgotten one thing in her rage, that is, her master Chenchi was defeated by Zumu alone. What could she use to fight Zumu? The preliminaries went smoothly. After Zumu was rated as a seeded player in the first game, the opponents he matched were almost all ordinary rookie trainers. Greninja was killed instantly when he appeared on the stage, and he entered the main competition with almost no effort. On the night of the end of the preliminaries, Zumu was sleeping soundly in his room. "Cool, let's go, Charmander. It's time to go." "Chirp." "Got it." The 2 figures groped in the dark and got up. With the help of the faint moonlight outside the window, they opened the door with their hands and feet. "Chirp." "Wait a minute, I'll get something." When they reached the door, Charmander suddenly turned back and searched in Zumu's bag. Not long after, under the puzzled gaze of Greninja, Charmander ran out happily holding a lot of medicine. "Cool, what are you going to do with so much medicine?" Greninja didn't understand and asked Charmander in confusion. Charmander just smiled mysteriously. "Chew, you don't understand. It's safer this way, just in case." Greninja held his forehead helplessly, completely speechless about Charmander, a guy who was afraid of death. "But it's better to bring some with him. After all, those guys in the Charizard Valley are really too strong. Even when he is restrained by attributes, he can't beat those king-level Charizards. As for those master-level Charizards above the king, Greninja dare not provoke them." "Cool. Tonight, I must defeat the guy last time." Setting a goal, Greninja quietly closed the door. The little master has been very hard these 2 days. He has been watching every opponent's game and will not leave the competition venue until the end. This league that the little master attaches great importance to. Greninja, must help him win. Then use this as a starting point to help the little master become the strongest trainer. The ambitious Greninja didn't know that his little master was watching the games of those players not to investigate any intelligence about the opponents. He was just a simple old pervert, looking at the pretty girls there. As for why he didn't leave until the end of the game, it was even simpler, because the audience seats were round, and Zumu was looking at the girls on the opposite side. No matter how the players played, As long as the game was not over, the girls would always be on the opposite side of Zumu, allowing him to choose. It's a pity that Zumu was scared by the hot-tempered girl you fan in the past 2 days. Now he dare not easily contact beautiful girls, and he didn't get the contact information of any girl. And Zumu also subconsciously thought that the beautiful girls in this world were all fighting maniacs. A beautiful and gentle girl like Serena is really hard to find. In the early morning, when the first ray of sunlight shone into the room, Zumu slowly opened his eyes and looked at the little fire dragon wrapped in bandages all over his body, a little confused. "What did you two do last night?" Zumu asked seriously while waking up Greninja, while picking up Charmander and untying his bandages with heartache. "What's going on? He's been tied up like a mummy. How badly injured is he? Why didn't you take good care of this child?" Zumu was going to rebandage Charmander and take a look at the child's injuries to see how serious they were and whether he should be sent directly to the Pokémon Center. As a result, when Zumu opened the bandages, he admitted that Charmander really deserved to die. "Bastard, it's just a broken skin on his arm. Why did you wrap his whole body in bandages? Don't bandages cost money?" Chapter 12 Opening Ceremony. Fire-breathing Dragon Valley Riot. Looking at the two Pokémons who lowered their heads and admitted their mistakes in front of him, Zumu no longer wanted to teach them a lesson. After all, they did nothing wrong. Is it wrong to want to become stronger? No. Zumu is just their trainer, but not the shackles of their lives. Zumu will not force any Pokémon to be tied to him, nor will he force Pokémon to live according to his ideas. That is unrealistic and impossible. Don't make trouble tonight. The competition will start tomorrow. Remember to get a good rest. Cool. Received. We will cancel the extra training tonight. Chew. I can't do without extra training. How can I become stronger without fighting? Cool. You are right. How can I become stronger without actual fighting? Greninja thought about it and felt that what Charmander said made sense. Yesterday, he finally defeated that female Charizard. This is growth and progress. Chew. Yes, you see, I beat the Charizard yesterday. Didn't I lose it before? Although Charmander is an extremely cautious dog, it deeply understands the principle that the strong will always be strong. Therefore, he will not miss any opportunity to become stronger. At present, Charmander Valley is the best opportunity for Charmander. There are a large number of his kind here, and he can challenge the strong without fear of being killed. If he misses this opportunity, he will not know when he will encounter such a suitable secret realm next time. Therefore, Charmander cherishes it very much and is determined to go to Charmander Valley more times during this week. Cool. Okay, I am convinced by you. Anyway, tomorrow's game is also a bully, which has little to do with his own state, so Greninja also followed Charmander's meaning. Practice in the middle of the night and continue to arrange. A night of silence. The next day, when Zumu opened his eyes, he was surprised to find that Charmander had wrapped his whole body tightly with bandages again. "So, you sneaked out to train again?" "God, save me, my elf is too proactive." "You guys are so active and hard-working, it makes me look like a useless trainer." "Wait, I'm not a trainer. Whoever wants to be a trainer can be one. Anyway, I'm not one." Today's 64-32, it should be a 2-on-2 match. Looking at the two dazed Pokémon, Zumu felt helpless. With the state you two are in, don't let it go wrong. If you go wrong, I don't know how angry the old principal will be. Dong dong dong. There was a knock on the door. If nothing unexpected happened, it should be Yuhei Long who came to deliver breakfast. Morning. After greeting, Yuhei Long walked into the room naturally and put down the breakfast. Zumu nodded, sat on the bed and picked up a fried dough stick. The opening ceremony of this league will be held soon. There should be dozens of Charizards using flames to shoot into the sky at the same time to ignite the altar. Zumu nodded as if listening to a story, and asked casually, "Is the opening ceremony so spectacular?" "Dozens of Charizards. This means at least dozens of elite trainers will take action at the same time. This is just a rookie league, but it is a big deal." "It's okay. Yancheng is close to the secret realm, so there are still many fire-breathing dragons. This can be regarded as the local appearance," Yuhei Long joked. After breakfast, Zumu changed his clothes and the two set off to the venue of the main competition, Purgatory Volcano, to attend the opening ceremony. If nothing unexpected happens, there will definitely be an accident. Zumu has subconsciously sensed that something is not good. As a chosen traverser, Zumu doesn't know if he has the same kind, but whether there is or not, he should be the main character of this world. In this case, if nothing unexpected happens, how can he live up to his identity as a traverser? Besides, Zumu has not yet figured out the specific situation of his dog system. If something unexpected really happens now, it is reasonable. Just when everything went smoothly, everyone looked up and saw the 36 fire-breathing dragons in the sky spraying flames at the bonfire on the altar, ready to cheer loudly. A violent shaking suddenly came from the secret realm. Purgatory Volcano is a relatively safe one among the active volcanoes in Yancheng. This is also the reason why the organizers held a competition here. However, because it was too close to the secret realm of Charizard Valley, the opening ceremony was successfully disrupted by the shaking for unknown reasons. What's going on? Feeling the violent shaking, Chen Qi, as the strongest person in the area, came to the air as soon as possible and looked towards the direction of the secret realm. It was not only Chen Qi who was curious, but also the contestants and the audience who did not understand the situation. The secret realm is a crisis, but also an opportunity. Since the arrival of Charizard Valley, it has been negotiated by the strong men sent by the Alliance to steadily supply a large number of Charmanders to the outside world every year as the initial Pokémon for new trainers. Now it is the facade of Yancheng. If there is any accident in Charizard Valley, it will be a huge loss that Yancheng cannot bear at all. You go find the city lord. I'll go down and take a look first. Chen Qi didn't waste any words and directly drove his Charizard to the secret realm. However, before Chen Qi went to the secret realm, he saw a strange fluctuation faintly appearing at the entrance of the secret realm. The next moment, a large number of Charizards flew out of the secret realm. The scene instantly became spectacular. Quickly evacuate the crowd. The Charizard's secret realm is rioting. Ask the Alliance for help. Chen Qi had a headache, and shouted to issue orders, and quickly asked the guards to help evacuate the players and spectators. He took the trainers of the 36 Charizards before, as well as a small number of elite trainers, to actively intercept the Charizards rushing out of the secret realm. What happened? Chen Qi shouted in front of the leading Charizard. The leading Charizard had a long scar on his face, and he was extremely irritable at the moment. He didn't give Chen Qi a chance to communicate at all, and opened his mouth to send out a dragon wave, directly blasting Chen Qi's Charizard away. An eyesore. Roar! Where is the frog that beat my wife yesterday? Come out! The furious Charizard roared to the sky, revealing the purpose of his leading the army out of the country this time, which was to find a blue frog. The story starts a few days ago. The Charizard Valley has always been quite enthusiastic about foreign challengers, until that wretched frog arrived here. The hateful thing about this frog is that he only picks on female Charizards. If it was a normal fight, it would be fine, and the male Charizards wouldn't be able to say anything. The hateful thing is that this frog's methods are extremely despicable, and the degree of his badness makes every female Charizard who is challenged by him hate him to the extreme. Chapter 13. Be more sensible and wish them happiness. Sure enough, he came to find me. Greninja had a dark face and took the initiative to get into Zumu's Pokeball. Charmander on the side was not afraid, but just covered his mouth and laughed. Why did he go back? Zumu looked at Charmander in confusion and asked. Charmander pointed at Scarface Charizard in the air, and then pointed at Greninja's Pokeball. Zumu understood. How big a crime did this guy commit to make Charizard come out to find him? No. Did he sleep with his wife? Thinking of this, Zumu was stunned. It's not impossible. According to Greninja's coquettish temper, he might really do such a thing. Oh my god. Frogs and lizards. It seems that it's really possible. It's just that the scene is a bit unbearable to watch. Charmander didn't know what Zumu was thinking, but when he saw his lewd smile, his back unconsciously felt a little hairy. In the air, Scarface Charizard was still furious. He just smelled the smell of that bastard frog nearby. Absolutely. Looking down, Scarface Charizard scanned every elf with his sharp eyes. He just favored a concubine, and when he turned around, he found that his wife had been slashed on the face. Not only that, that bastard frog didn't know how to control the severity of his attack. and actually beat his wife black and blue. This bastard specializes in slapping faces, thinking of his wife, who was once as beautiful as a flower, now swollen like a pig's head. Scarface Charizard was furious. This frog is not the first offender. Female Charizards have often been killed in the past few days. He didn't take it seriously at first, but until his wife was killed, Scarface realized the seriousness of the matter. So, as the king of the Charizard Valley, he raised his arms and shouted, and led the army out of the country directly. Scarface must teach that bastard frog a lesson. Let him know the taste of disfigurement. Roar. Another roar. Hand over that frog, or I will go to Yancheng to capture that bastard in person regardless of the previous agreement. Chenchi's Charizard also came out of the Charizard Valley. Seeing his king angry, he no longer had the mood to resist. He got up from the ground and quickly translated for Chenchi. Is he here to find someone? Chenchi didn't quite understand, but he still roughly understood the situation and asked in confusion. His Charizard nodded repeatedly. Yes, that's what he meant. But he's not looking for someone, he's looking for a frog. However, Chenchi could still guess what Charizard meant from the general communication. Once it came to the details of the words, Chenchi couldn't understand. Not looking for someone? What is he looking for? He looked at his Charizard anxiously. Charizard was helpless. Frog. Roar. Roar. Yes, he's not looking for someone, he's looking for a frog. I see, he's not looking for someone. Then what is he looking for? Chenchi still didn't understand. No matter how Charizard explained, he couldn't understand how to translate the two words frog in Elvish. Roar. Frog. Exclamation mark. His Charizard was also anxious, constantly sticking out its tongue, signaling Chenchi to find a frog. Seeing Charizard constantly sticking out its tongue, Chenchi immediately slapped his thigh. I know, Shelter. Boom. Charizard fell directly on the spot, foaming at the mouth. Frog. Frog. Quack. An extremely weird sound suddenly came out of Charizard's mouth. This crisp frog call instantly attracted the attention of all the trainers and Charizards present. Chenchi scratched his head embarrassedly, watching his Charizard escape into the Pokeball in a panic. It was a bit embarrassing. A Charizard actually learned the call of a frog. How difficult is this for the child? Ahem. I understand. You want to find a frog, right? He coughed dryly, trying to ease the embarrassment. Chenchi then looked up and asked Scarface Charizard. Roar. That's right. Seeing Charizard nod affirmatively, Chenchi was also a little confused. What's going on? You came out with such fanfare just to find a frog? Wait, a frog? Is it a blue frog? Chenchi suddenly asked Scarface Charizard. Roar. Roar. Yes, that's him, that bastard. Good fellow. Chenchi almost spat out a mouthful of blood. It turns out that we are both victims. What a coincidence. I also want to find that frog now. This guy took on 6 of me and patted his butt and left. I didn't even see his trainer's face. Zoom watched the conversation between Chenchi and Charizard from a distance, knowing that he couldn't hide anymore. Greninja can't hide like this forever, and will show up sooner or later. If he messed with Chenchi alone, it would be fine. If he didn't obey, he would beat him. But this Charizard was obviously a master level, and Zoom was a little scared. Let's see. It's best to solve it peacefully. Director, do you have a flying Pokémon? Send me there. Zoom asked Yuhei Long, who was already petrified by surprise. Yuhei Long was shaken by Zoom's shoulders several times before he came to his senses. Yes, what are you going to do? Yuhei Long was almost petrified when he saw that Zoom's first reaction was not to run away. This kid, how big is his heart? This ability to cause trouble is simply amazing. Sun Wukong is not as good as you. You are more expert than Sun Wukong in making trouble in the Heavenly Palace. Releasing his toucan, Yuhei Long repeatedly told Zoom to be careful and run away if the situation is not right. Zoom waved his hand speechlessly to let Yuhei Long be quiet, and then drove the toucan all the way to the front of Scarface Charizard. Hello, Charizard, I am Zoom. The guy you are looking for is my elf. Charizard looked at Zoom and took the initiative to come to him, and he smiled. Roar. Hand over the frog, I will fight him. Zoom didn't quite understand, but he probably guessed what Charizard meant. Holding Greninja's Pokeball, Zoom said, Charizard, I know you are very angry now. Indeed, no man can accept this, Not to mention that you are the king of the Charizard clan. But I have to say that the feelings between men and women cannot be forced. Since my Greninja has fallen in love with your wife, you should be more sensible and wish them happiness. This is what a man should do. But I feel sorry for you. I hope you can think more positively in the future. There are thousands of beautiful female Charizards in the world. Don't hang yourself on this tree. Zumu said these words very loudly. Not only the people on the ground, but also the Charizards in the sky heard it all. Boss, when did your sister-in-law cheat on you? Didn't you say it out to teach the frog a lesson? How did the boss become the one who was accused? It's over. My sister-in-law betrayed the boss. I have to take good care of my wife when I go back. I said, such a small matter shouldn't make Charizard almost tear up the agreement and suddenly come to the outside of the secret realm. As expected, only the power of green can make this guy so angry. The frog turned green on the lizard. Greninja is awesome. Chapter 14, Greninja Bond Transformation. Scarface Charizard was really angry. He swore that no one had ever dared to humiliate him like this. Zumu was the first one. Roar, you're dead. He aimed the jet of flame at Zumu and attacked angrily. Zumu had no time to dodge. Fortunately Greninja appeared in time. Cool, you're tired of living, you big lizard, for touching my little master. A water cannon blocked the jet of flame, and Greninja landed on the toucan, looking at Scarface Charizard with the same anger. Calm down, Charizard, what happened? Just when the two sides were about to fight, Yanchang City Lord Lin Haiyuan rushed over after hearing the news. Riding on the fiery horse, Lin Haiyuan shouted, hoping that Charizard could calm down. But it was useless. How could Charizard, who was forcibly cuckolded, tolerate this? Seeing that his jet of flame was intercepted by Greninja, new and old hatreds instantly occupied his heart. Scarface Charizard roared, Dragon Wave, Flame Horse, Purgatory. As the lord of a city, Lin Haiyuan is a real king-level strongman. Seeing that Scarface Charizard didn't give him face, Lin Haiyuan also got angry. So what if he is a master-level strongman? Come and fight if you don't accept it. This is the territory of humans. If you dare to act wild, even God can't save you. This is the confidence from the strong of the human race. Roar! The dragon's fluctuations collided with Purgatory, and violent energy fluctuations broke out. After releasing this attack, the flaming horse was obviously a little weaker. Lin Haiyuan also hurriedly shouted to Chen Qi, do it. This matter can't be settled peacefully. In the air, Zumu was a little moved. This Lin Haiyuan knew that his strength was not as good as Charizard, but he still stood by his side regardless of his life and blocked Charizard's attack. Senior, forget it. Let me solve it myself. Commanding the toucan to land next to Lin Haiyuan, Zumu said seriously. Lin Haiyuan was stunned when he heard it. What do you mean you solve it yourself? This is Charizard, a master-level warrior. You are a rookie trainer. What can you do to deal with it? Don't mess around, kid. Lin Haiyuan frowned and scolded, releasing his other Pokémon and was about to start a fight. No, I'm not messing around. I can do it. Please stop, Senior. He just wants to fight with my Pokémon, and this matter will be over after we fight. I don't want to implicate everyone. The consequences of the rage of the master-level Pokémon are terrible. If Lin Haiyuan declares war on Charizard here on behalf of mankind, and fails to defeat Charizard in the end, then there will be huge casualties among humans. This is the consequence that Zumu does not want to see. Greninja, fight. Cool. It's been prepared for a long time. Zumu is not without a trump card. But he is a time traveler after all, a newcomer, helpless, and always has to keep a hand for himself. But now, Zumu saw that Lin Haiyuan was willing to fight with the master-level Charizard for a stranger. It's better not to keep this trump card. Everyone, please step back and let me fight Charizard one-on-one. Charizard also heard Zumu's words. Roar! Okay, for your courage, kid. I will leave you an intact body today. Lin Haiyuan wanted to say something, but before he could, he saw Zumu roar. Greninja, stop restraining that power. Bond transformation. Cool. Filled with energy, Greninja was instantly wrapped in white light. This light was very much like the light of evolution. Lin Haiyuan opened his mouth wide, looking at the scene in front of him in disbelief. Impossible. Greninja can still evolve? Absolutely impossible. However, the facts were in front of him, and he had to believe it even if he didn't want to. Greninja, bond form, join. Cool, come on, big lizard. After the transformation, Greninja has reached the peak strength of the king. Although it was still far inferior to the Master Peak Scarface Lizard, it was able to fight with its attribute advantage. Boy, the king peak is not enough, Lin Haiyuan muttered silently, feeling anxious for Zumu in his heart. The Scarface Lizard in the air also sneezed disdainfully. Roar. Bugs, even if they change their appearance, they are still bugs. Gunsmoke charge. As a king, he disdains to use his air advantage to deal with a weakling. Scarface Lizard has his pride. However, Zumu saw Scarface Lizard swooping down without any panic. Similarly, Greninja was extremely calm. Although our strength is not as strong as yours, the difference between wild Pokémon and trainer Pokémon is here. With me here, Greninja will definitely be able to defeat you. Because, at this moment, we are in sync, and Greninja is not fighting alone. Cool. That's right. At the moment when Scarface Lizard's attack was about to arrive, Greninja used Shadow Clone. Seeing that the attack was hopeless, Scarface Lizard stopped diving instantly, and its powerful wings formed an umbrella shape in the air, helping it to float in the air. Greninja's counterattack has arrived. Appearing behind Scarface Lizard like lightning, Greninja directly threw two water shurikens. Scarface Lizard didn't even look at it, and its huge wings flapped back directly. Hot wind. The scorching storm instantly blocked the attack of the water shuriken, and at the same time attacked Greninja with huge damage. Under normal circumstances, this set of combos of Scarface Lizard would still be effective. Unfortunately, it was not normal today. Zumu and Greninja were in a state of telepathy, and command became a fighting instinct. Almost at the moment when the flying water shuriken was launched, Greninja used lightning flash to jump into the air. While Scarface Lizard was using hot air, Greninja's poison had already hit successfully. Poison, giving the opponent a poisoned state. As the battle progresses, the opponent's reduced physical strength gradually increases. After receiving the poisonous attack, Scarface Lizard also seized this opportunity at the first time. Raising his head, a big word explosion. Unable to dodge in the air, the big word explosion was about to hit. Greninja suddenly propped up a light green protective shield. It was a protective trick. In the distance, Lin Haiyuan, Chen Qi and others were sweating for Greninja. The battle between masters is just a matter of breathing. However, in just a few seconds, Greninja completed the first fight with Lizard and successfully gained a slight advantage. Well done, kid. Lin Haiyuan clenched his fists and shouted. And Chen Qi beside him was so excited that he almost jumped up. Greninja, if you can win, I will forgive you for giving me a 1-on-6. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We are waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 15. Shock. Greninja wins big. Ignoring the strange looks from the people around him, Chen Qi shamelessly turned his gaze to the battlefield. Humphrey, as long as I am not embarrassed, you will be embarrassed. After landing, Greninja did not think about keeping a distance from Lizard. Instead, after throwing several water shurikens in succession, a water wave hit the ground. With the cover of the water waves, a sneak attack on the vitals was made, and it went straight to Scarface Lizard. A set of combos flowed smoothly, without the slightest awkwardness. Lizard smashed all the flying water shurikens with a lightning fist in one hand and a flame fist in the other. Then the wings suddenly opened. Air slash. A series of sickle-like air blades fanned out from Lizard's wings. The attack of the water wave was instantly resolved. At the same time, Greninja, who was emitting dark energy, was forced by Lizard's air slashes and had to cancel the offensive and dodge repeatedly. Seeing that Greninja was forced to dodge in a panic by his own attack, Scarface Lizard hurriedly took advantage of the victory to pursue. A burst of dragon's fury, with hatred, sprayed towards Greninja who was struggling with the air blade. Once again, Greninja was in a desperate situation. At the critical moment, he took out a handful of foam from somewhere. Lift the tatami, fighting type transformation skill. The effect is equivalent to protection, but it cannot stop transformation skills. It is just right to deal with Dragon's Fury. Roar, asshole. Scarface Charizard saw that his attack was blocked by Greninja again, roared madly, and rushed forward directly to fight with Greninja. At this moment, Greninja did not hesitate at all, and dodged backwards directly, while constantly throwing Water Shuriken to interfere. The special moves kept colliding, causing explosions one after another. At this time, the onlookers were already stunned. Unexpectedly, Zoomew, a rookie trainer, had the strength to compete with the Master's Peak Pokémon. Although it seems that Greninja has been struggling to support it and has been in danger several times. But, don't forget, Scarface Charizard was poisoned and his strength was being consumed. Boy, hold on, there's hope for victory. Lin Haiyuan shouted to Zoomew. Although Zoomew didn't say a word throughout the whole process, anyone with a discerning eye could see that Greninja's performance was inextricably linked to Zoomew. Sweat dripped from his forehead, and Zoomew gritted his teeth to support himself. This was Zoomew's first bond transformation, and it consumed a lot of energy. But he couldn't stop. If he couldn't hold on, then what awaited Greninja would be the endless rage of Scarface Charizard. Fight. Cool. One person and one pet roared at the same time, and Greninja's whole body was instantly wrapped in water. Surf. Without any hesitation, Greninja used Surf to meet Charizard's flash charge head-on. Bang. Another loud bang. Scarface Charizard was knocked back several steps by the powerful explosion. Similarly, Greninja was also blown away dozens of meters. After gracefully flipping over and landing in the air, Greninja didn't stop for half a second and jumped high again. Surf. Attack again. Scarface Charizard was also furious, and without saying anything, the flash charge, which hurt both sides, was activated again. Bang. One collision after another. Bang. Bang. The distance that Greninja was knocked away was decreasing again and again, and Scarface Charizard's physical strength was gradually exhausted. The side effects of the flash charge, the natural restraint of the water system, and the effect of the poison, Scarface Charizard suffered much more damage than Greninja. Realizing that this would not work, Scarface Charizard roared angrily. A beam of sunlight and flame suddenly attacked Greninja. The unexpected attack made Greninja and Zoomew have no time to dodge. Fortunately, at the critical moment, the protection was successfully activated. Once again, the crisis was resolved. Asshole. Playing dirty? Zoomew cursed, and immediately commanded in his heart, Greninja, go around in circles with him. Use the tactics taught to our people by the great leader, guerrilla warfare. When the enemy retreats, I advance. When the enemy advances, I retreat. When the enemy is tired, I attack. With the help of Zoomew, Greninja deeply understood the essence of guerrilla warfare and began to circle around Scarface Charizard frantically, avoiding the attacks of Scarface Charizard again and again, while constantly harassing the enemy with various water skills. Scarface Charizard, who could no longer bear it, finally had enough and flew directly into the air, ready to use Feather to recover his strength. However, how could Zoomew let him succeed? Now, cool. One person and one pet roared at the same time. I saw Greninja using Surf, going up against the sky, and heading straight for Scarface Charizard. And in his hand, a super huge Water Shuriken was condensing. Bang! Another huge explosion was heard. The air was filled with gunpowder smoke. Lin Haiyuan, Chen Qi, and Yu Hailong in the distance were all so nervous that they didn't dare to breathe. When the smoke dissipated, Scarface Charizard and Greninja were facing each other. The physical strength of both sides had reached the limit. Now I don't even have the strength to move a finger. Roar! Scarface Charizard roared in a deep voice, trying to scare Greninja with his kingly power. However, he forgot one thing. Greninja was tired, but Zoomew was still there. Fuck, you old lizard, get down for me. I tell you, I can still forgive you if you admit defeat now. Otherwise I will let my Greninja live in your Charizard Valley. Let him trick all your female Charizards away. I'll make you single for the rest of your life. Believe it or not. You're still yelling with a green hat on your head. What are you yelling about? You're ugly. You're not strong enough. Why are you pretending to be a calf? Crawl now. Zumu's words were pure and shocking. Scarface Charizard was so angry that he almost spit out a mouthful of blood. And Greninja also looked back in horror. Cool. What green hat? What female Charizard? Little master, did you misunderstand something? I'm not interested in lizards. Puff. Unable to hold back, Scarface Charizard was hit again by Greninja's words. A mouthful of old blood spurted out and fell down with hatred. Win. Damn. Win. Did you see that? This kid won. Zumu won. Ha ha ha. Our Feng Cheng #1 middle school genius. He won. The master level elf was killed by him. Yuhei Long was completely crazy, standing in place and shouting wildly with the people around him, no matter what others do. At this moment he was so excited that he forgot himself. Chen Qi sat down on the ground. His back was soaked with sweat. I actually won. Lin Haiyuan also looked at Zumu in the distance in disbelief. He rubbed his eyes and smiled slowly. Good boy. I actually won. In the distance, the contestants also saw the whole battle. A girl was staring at Zumu with her eyes wide open, totally unable to believe the scene in front of her. Chapter 16, Feng Cheng Zumu, the brutal destroyer. Scarface Charizard was still trustworthy. He was no longer arrogant even though he hadn't beaten Greninja. After resting on the ground for a while, he led people back to the secret realm and sent out more than a dozen Pokémon eggs. Among them, the color of one Pokémon egg was obviously brighter, and that was his offspring, the offspring of a master-level strongman. Lin Haiyuan waved his hand and accepted these Pokémon eggs, indicating that he forgave Charizard's recklessness. Then he handed the special Pokémon egg to Zumu. Boy, you are very good. Zumu scratched his hair and smiled calmly. Seeing Zumu's neither humble nor arrogant attitude, Lin Haiyuan admired him even more. Work hard, the future is yours, and you will become a very powerful trainer sooner or later. Hearing this, Zumu, who was still smiling, suddenly turned black. He said goodbye with the Pokémon egg in his arms. This Lin Haiyuan is not a good person. He actually wants me to be a trainer. Don't you know that trainers die quickly? If I hadn't taken action today, you don't know how many people would have died. Such a dangerous profession. You still want to push me up. You definitely have evil intentions. Just like the dog system, neither is a good thing. Zumu muttered to himself and left cursing in his heart. Lin Haiyuan was left there, confused. Did I say something wrong? This kid is really a freak. With a wry smile, Lin Haiyuan turned and left, reporting the riot in the Charizard Valley. The game continued, but there was a bit more boredom in the eyes of the players. Zumu, this guy, can challenge the peak of the master alone, and he still comes to participate in this rookie league. Shame on him. Zumu returned to the preparation area and happened to see the young lady who wanted to challenge him before. He smiled and waved to her and said hello, but he found that the young lady saw him as if she saw a devil, and quickly turned and left. No way, I've forgiven you, but you're still so ignorant. You can't bully me just because you're pretty. Forget it, forget it. A forced melon is not sweet. It's better for a young lady to be in love with her. I can't be a bootlicker, Zumu said to himself, and found an empty seat to sit down, waiting for the game to start. 64-32. Coincidentally, Zumu's opponent is the young lady named Yufan. Hello. Standing on the battlefield, Zumu still acted very sunny. Yufan snorted coldly and didn't respond. She felt like a clown now. Zumu was so strong, but she actually went up to provoke him. It was so embarrassing. Although Zumu looked very sunny, he even looked a little humble after Yufan's indifferent snort, but his heart was not sunny at all. Little Charmander, beat me to death. Go all out. Calling out a little Charmander, Zumu showed a warm smile like a big brother next door, but his voice was extremely cold. The little Charmander glanced at the opponent over there, who was a long-tailed firefox. Chirp. Don't worry, I won't give her any chance to turn the tables. Zumu nodded, still smiling enthusiastically. Okay. Don't look at her because she is a woman. Sometimes the prettier the woman, the more vicious her means. Chirp. I understand. Although that firefox is a female, I will definitely not hold back. The frog told me that if you hit a female, you have to hit her in the face. Hit her hard, and you win if you scare her. Good guy. This master and pet are completely in sync, just because of your two donkey tempers. Otherwise you will be single for the rest of your life, which is really unfair. The moment the referee announced the start of the game, the nightmare of Miss Yufan and her female fox, the long-tailed fire fox, came. 10 minutes later, when the little sister ran out of the competition venue crying, when the audience in the stands were silent, when the referee was stunned for a long time and was speechless, Zumu hummed a little tune and returned to the contestants' preparation room, picked up his things, and left in style. Just a woman, always deeply in love, no regrets to give youth, easy to get deeper and deeper. Just a woman, love is her soul, she can give her life for the one she loves. Zumu hummed a song and felt infinite sadness in his heart. When can I meet the girl I love? Although there are many beautiful girls, but none of them is mine. It's really unfair. I, Zumu, am so outstanding, handsome, elegant, well-educated, and talented. I am still single. It's too much. Fuck, that was Master Chenchi's apprentice, right? Yes, it was Miss Yufan. She's the school beauty of our school. She was beaten to tears. Damn it, this Zumu is so cruel. You made my goddess cry. Zumu, I will never forgive you. He was so cruel. Does this Zumu have a mental illness and doesn't like girls? Now that you say that, I'm going to tell my sister that if she meets Zumu in the competition, she should surrender. By the way, this guy is obviously a master of Tanwu. Why does he still want to participate in the Rookie League? Because he just got the initial elf this year. But, this monster, is he a rookie? After Zumu left for a long time, the audience finally reacted. Some people were indignant for Yufan, beating their chests and stamping their feet, saying that they would teach Zumu a lesson. Others thought that Zumu might hate girls, so he was so heavy-handed. In short, Zumu was really popular this time. Apart from anything else, at least this generation of female high school students in Yancheng will remember the name Zumu in their hearts. If they really meet Zumu in a competition in the future, they will definitely choose to surrender at the first time. The ruthless one who destroys flowers, Fengcheng Zumu. Zumu was completely unaware of his honor. As soon as he returned to the hotel, he was held down by the excited Yu Hailong. You kid are a freak. You can even win this. Zumu speechlessly broke away from Yu Hailong and sat down on the bed. He said contemptuously, "Director, your reaction arc is too long. How long has it been?" Yu Hailong was speechless. "If I could find you earlier, why would I be so excited until now?" What are you going to do with the elf egg that the city lord gave you? Forget it. After reorganizing his emotions, Yu Hailong sat on the chair and talked about business with Zumu. He already has a little fire dragon, and it might not be appropriate to breed another little fire dragon. I'll ask him. Zumu called out Charmander and asked, "This egg is the offspring of that scarred Charizard. It might be a beautiful girl. Do you think I should find you a wife?" Upon hearing this, Charmander jumped up from the ground and went straight into the Pokeball. "Woman, whoever wants it can have it. Anyway, I don't want it." Chapter 17. An ordinary winner. Charmander's behavior told Zumu that he didn't want a brother or sister. Zumu didn't want to be single while Charmander and his wife were in pairs. So, Zumu decided to find a suitable owner for this Charmander Pokemon egg, which was known as the best. Life was so boring in the next few days. Greninja took Charmander to the Charizard Valley to brush experience every day, so that the guards of the secret realm knew them both. When Zumu was bored, he would take Greninja and Scarface Charizard to fight. As the saying goes, it's better to make enemies than to dissolve them, and you can't get to know each other without fighting. Through fighting, Zumu quickly got the forgiveness of Scarface Charizard. The main thing is that it's not okay not to forgive, because you really can't beat it. Last time, Greninja and Zumu used the bond transformation for the first time, and they were not very skilled. In addition, it was the first time Zumu commanded a battle of that level, so it was inevitable that he was a little awkward. Later, Zumu gradually adapted to the rhythm and became more and more skilled in cooperating with Greninja. Scarface Charizard, even though it was a master-level Pokemon, could only accept the fate of being beaten by various dirty tricks. As for Charmander, he still chose to hide and refused to evolve no matter what. He even asked Zumyu for money to buy an immutable stone for himself. In his words, that is, keeping the current form can make the opponent relax his vigilance against him, which is the way to survive. As for the competition, it was boring. Because of you fan, Zumyu's sister-beating mania was confirmed. When the female players heard that they were matched with Zumyu, they gave up directly. As for the male compatriots, they were sent away by Zumyu's Charmander one by one. The 2-week competition came to a perfect end. When Zumyu stood on the podium as the champion, his heart was actually empty. Fortunately, the etiquette ladies who presented the awards were good-looking and had long legs, which made Zumyu, the LSP, recover a little bit of spirit. When he gave his acceptance speech, Zumyu coughed dryly. He took the microphone and tested the sound first. "Hey, can you hear me?" Seeing that no one answered him, Zumyu shamelessly asked again, "Can you hear me? If not, I'll ask again later." Good guy. He was so angry that Chen Qi, who was sitting in the guest seat, was speechless. "Zumyu, we can hear you." Fearing that Zumyu would ask again, Chen Qi answered, which was considered to be a way for him to save face. Seeing Chen Qi replying to him, Zumyu smiled with satisfaction. "You should have said it earlier. This is so good, saving everyone's time." Next, I have something to announce. Everyone present today, you were lucky. Zumyu looked like I was going to make trouble, and smiled. "I will find a suitable trainer for the offspring of a master-level Charizard." Sure enough, when Zumyu said this, the whole audience was shocked. Whether they were rich or poor, whether they could afford it or not, they all opened their mouths wide and watched Zumyu's performance. The city knows how to play, and if you want to show off, it's still you, Zumyu. But, I think that if you want to become a trainer of Charmander, the most basic thing is to have financial strength, and then character. As for character, I, Zumyu, still believe that the dominance of the Alliance can guarantee it. The situation where trainers abuse Pokémon should not happen to this Charmander. Zumyu said shamelessly, just short of telling everyone clearly that the egg belongs to the highest bidder. The audience and contestants, including judges and guests, all took out their mobile phones and started to call people. Some asked people to watch the fun, and some asked people to raise money. In short, Zumyu successfully made the matter bigger. Not long after, Zumyu saw that most of the people who called had stopped, so he continued. "I asked City Lord Lin Haiyuan before, and my practice of helping Pokémons find their owners does not violate the laws of the Alliance. So, now you can make an offer." Zumyu smiled proudly. As soon as he finished speaking, someone stood up from the audience and shouted, 5 million Alliance coins. His words caused a burst of laughter. If the price is clearly marked, even before hatching, Charmander's Pokémon egg is worth more than 2 million, and it is still the kind that is in short supply. Now, if you spend 5 million to buy a descendant of a master, it is simply a dream. 20 million, our lava gym wants this egg. I hope you will give me some face. Chen Qi stood up and started bidding. At the same time, he brought up the name of his own gym, hoping to lower the price. Just when Zumyu frowned and wanted to curse, a white-bearded judge on the side spoke up. "I'm sorry, Master Chen. My grandson has just reached the age, and I plan to use this egg as my grandson's starting Pokémon." 25 million. The old man was obviously not an ordinary person, and he raised the price by 5 million. On the podium, Zumyu was so excited that he almost jumped up. "Damn, 25 million, and the kind that doesn't have to pay taxes. I'll leave 5 million for my mother, and the rest is enough to travel around the world 10 times. 26 million, that's all I have." Chen Qi frowned and continued to bid. The old man smiled. 28 million, thank you, Master Chen. Just when Zumyu was about to make the final decision, another voice appeared. "Mr. Sun, my son also wants this egg. Sorry." 30 million. Oh, Zumyu now felt that his mind was full of gold coins, money, all white silver. The old man called Mr. Sun smiled helplessly after seeing who was coming. "If Mr. Zhao needed it, he could have told me earlier, then I wouldn't bid." Mr. Zhao. Zumyu didn't know the middle-aged man who made the bid, but that didn't stop him from making the deal. "If there is no higher price, we'll have the deal?" Zumyu asked, and when he saw that no one else was bidding, He invited Mr. Zhao to come on stage. Mr. Zhao was not polite either. He took out a purple card and said, "There is 30 million in it. The password is the last 6 digits of the card number." Zhu Yu took the card and asked Chen Qi for a card swipe machine on the spot. After checking the balance in it, he transferred all 30 million to his card. Only then did he feel relieved to call Yu Hailong. "I will leave this child to you in the future. I believe your son will be a qualified trainer." As he said that, Zhu Yu grinned. Mr. Zhao also smiled, took the Charmander egg, and said, "You are quite interesting. We may meet again in the future." Zhu Yu curled his lips and raised his eyebrows indifferently. "Goodbye, unless you have a beautiful girl waiting to marry me. Otherwise, what's wrong with seeing each other again?" He received the championship reward of this rookie league from Chen Qi, a top-level flame orb. Zhu Yu took Yu Hailong and got into the old principal's car and returned to Fengcheng. Chapter 18. Zhu Yu, am going to travel around the world. The old principal was so excited along the way. He kept nagging Zhu Yu about how great he was and what honors he brought to the school. Zhu Yu and Yu Hailong, on the other hand, looked calm. "Ahem, you won the championship. Aren't you excited at all?" The old principal looked at the two of them in confusion. Zhu Yu was fine, but why did Yu Hailong look like he was not in business? "Is it difficult to support me?" Zhu Yu pouted helplessly and patted Yu Hailong on the shoulder. "Director, tell the principal about the Charizard Valley. It's just winning the championship. What's the big deal? Is it necessary to be so excited?" Looking at Zhu Yu's contemptuous eyes, the old principal said that he was a little angry. "After all, I am also a big man, and I have experienced big scenes of ups and downs in the past. Now you, a little kid, dare to despise me?" Then, he chose to let Yu Hailong talk about it. What happened that made Zhu Yu so crazy? Yu Hailong didn't waste time, and roughly told the old principal about the Battle of Charizard Valley. Then, the old principal was quiet until the end. Until the car stopped at the gate of number 1 middle school, the old principal remained silent. "It was too shameful to be embarrassed at my grandmother's house." Zhu Yu did not follow the two back to school. The celebration banquet was too troublesome, so he got off the car in advance and returned home. Zhu's mother was watching TV at home at this time. She was a little surprised to see Zhu Yu coming back. But soon, the surprise in Zhu's mother's eyes turned into tenderness. "You just came back. Are you tired?" Zhu Yu nodded and shook his head. He didn't know how to answer this question. "Tired? A little tired, but not tired. Mom, there are 5 million in this card. You take it first." Zhu Yu didn't know how he should respond to Zhu's mother's love, so he could only lower his head and put a card on the coffee table in front of the sofa. "You have worked hard over the years. This money is earned honestly. I earned it in the secret realm when I played the game. You don't have to worry. I still have a lot. Don't save it for me. It's okay if you spend it hard." Zhu Yu spoke intermittently. He kept his head down, and when Zhu's mother didn't speak, he kept talking. After a long time, Zhu Yu finally raised his head slowly and saw that his mother was sitting on the sofa crying silently. He walked up to her and handed her a tissue. This mother is very strong. Although she is gentle as water on weekdays, she has the characteristics of all mothers in her bones. Strong. After the irresponsible man left, his mother cried many times at night. But she was worried that Zhu Yu's heart would change, so she always cried silently. Over time, when the mother cried, she would not make a sound, which became a habit of her. If one day you also meet someone who does not make a sound when crying, please cherish him, because he may have experienced hurt and has had someone he loves deeply. My son has grown up. Seeing Zhu Yu looking at her, Zhu's mother quickly stopped crying. She looked at Zhu Yu with a kind look, and put her rough hands on Zhu Yu's face and stroked it gently. Zhu Yu felt a little uncomfortable, but didn't want to avoid it. Mother's love, I haven't felt it for a long time. Want to travel? After a long time, both mother and son calmed down. Zhu's mother turned off the TV and asked with a smile. Zhu Yu nodded. This was his dream. He didn't want to become a trainer. He just wanted to travel around the world with his beloved girl. Well, be careful. Zhu's mother thought about it, gave only one instruction, and then stood up and walked to the kitchen. Mom will make you some food first. Rest at home for a few days before leaving. Zhu Yu nodded again. He couldn't refuse his mother's request. and didn't want to refuse. 10 days later, Zumu had dealt with school affairs, bought props for the trip, and planned a reasonable travel route. The first stop was to the newly opened secret realm, Evergreen Forest. After Zumu got up, he took a look at the two Pokémon beside him as usual. They were okay. They slept soundly and were clean. They probably didn't sneak out. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the Greninja sign-in mission. 2. Carry or use Greninja to win the Dawn Gym battle. Reward Greninja ninjutsu mastery. The host's Greninja and Charmander primary sign-in missions have all been completed. Now start the next level mission. As expected, these two guys can't let me rest assured. Going out for extra training again, right? Zumu, who was used to being backstabbed by these two guys, sighed helplessly. Well, dog system, you win again. Since winning the championship, Charmander has completed 3 sign-in tasks, and his strength has directly increased by a large step. The awakening of the Red Lotus fireworks, the increase in dragon power, and the flame orb rewarded by the champion were all absorbed by Charmander. This guy's strength has directly increased greatly. And the same is true for Greninja. Spirit, Greninja, attributes, water, evil, strength, mid-level king, features, change freely. Every time you use a move, your own attributes become the same as the move's attributes. Skills, Rasengan, Shadow Clone Technique, Substitute Technique, Water Shuriken, Sneak Attack, Water Wave, Water Cannon, Shadow Clone. Signed-in task, carry or use Greninja to fight against Tentei, Heart of the Ocean. Seeing Greninja's new task, Zumu smiled. Good guy, fighting against Tentei. System, you are going crazy trying to trick me, right? Where did the Flame Emperor come from? Hahaha, I really don't need to be a trainer. Looking at Charmander's attribute panel again, Zumu's originally good mood turned black in an instant. Pokémon, Charmander, attribute, fire, dragon, strength, pseudo-king mid-stage, features, solar power, attack power increases in sunny weather, skills, reverse scale, dragon star cluster, dragon wave, dragon tail, overheat, big word explosion, jet flame, sunlight flame, tile splitting, steel tail, primal power. Signed-in task, carry or use Charmander to fight a master-level battle in the Evergreen Forest Secret Realm. Kindled Dragon Bloodline. Zumu really laughed. Dog system, do you believe that I won't go to the Evergreen Secret Realm? The system is not panicked at all. It's up to you whether to go or not. Anyway, you will go sooner or later. Zumu doesn't understand why the system directly issued the sign-in task for Evergreen Forest. Isn't he afraid that he won't go? Soon, the system's prompt came. In the secret realm of Evergreen Forest, the host will meet the first girl you truly love. Fate is coming. I hope the host will not miss it. Good guy. Zumu is direct good guy. It smells so good. This Evergreen Forest. I, Zumu, will go. Not only will I go, I will go as soon as possible. MMP. Dog system, you finally did something human. Evergreen Forest. I, Zumu, am here. Wait for me. Miss, I will be there soon. Wait for me. World. I, Zumu, am here to travel around you. Chapter 19. Don't panic, little sister. I'm here. After saying goodbye to Zu's mother, Zumu boarded a plane to Shishin. Chinpan's secret realm is located near Shishin. Taking a plane to go there is the most time-saving way. Of course, if there's a Dragonite, it may be faster. Because of the system's prompts, Zumu is now in a state of preparation for war. Whenever he sees a good-looking girl, Zumu will guess whether this is his true love. Sometimes, if the other party looks at Zumu for a little longer, this LSP may even think of the name of the child after marrying the other party. After arriving in Shishin, Zumu didn't waste any words. He took a taxi directly from the airport and went all the way to the hotel booked in advance. For him, time is everything now. He must race against time and find his true love as quickly as possible. Cool, little lizard, look at what happened to the little master these 2 days. It seems that he is absent-minded. Chew, it's none of your business. And none of my business? The little dragon, who was sticking his butt out looking for the surveillance camera in the hotel room, sprayed a sentence casually, and then continued to be busy. He had to first confirm if there were any Pokémon hidden here, especially ghost-type ones, and he had to be on guard. Then he had to check the cameras and monitoring equipment. Zumu was lying on the bed, playing with his phone, and urging him, "Charmander, are you ready? If you are, we are going out. The Evergreen Secret Realm is waiting for me." Charmander ignored Zumu, but snorted in his heart. "HMPH, you don't know how to protect yourself at all. Do boys need me to teach you to protect themselves when they go out?" Finally, after a long wait, Charmander finally checked the new room in the hotel. After finding that there was no problem, Charmander prepared to take a rest. As a result, before he could sit down, he was grabbed by Zumu and thrown on his shoulder. "Do you want to go by yourself or do you want me to take it back for you and you can go with me in the Pokeball?" Looking back at Greninja, Zumu asked with a grin. "Cool, I can go by myself." He quickly agreed, and Greninja immediately took action and walked out of the room first. But he was still muttering in his heart. What happened? Why is the little master so anxious to go to the secret realm? Could it be that the little master has finally awakened and wants to practice hard to become the strongest trainer in the world? I understand. Then I must not be lame. I must become stronger. Don't worry, little master. When I arrive at the Evergreen Forest, I will definitely practice more seriously and will not let you down. Zumu had no idea what was going on in Greninja's mind. He just thought that his killing of a chicken to scare the monkeys scared Greninja and it did not dare to oppose the decision to go to the Evergreen Forest. As for Charmander, let's spare this little thing for now. If it was because of his delay that Zumu and his destined girl passed by, it would not be too late for Zumu to deal with him. After taking a car all the way to the Evergreen Secret Realm, Zumu was very anxious. After showing his identity card to the guard, Zumu rushed directly into the transmission channel and stepped into the Evergreen Secret Realm. When they arrived in the Secret Realm, others would observe the environment and the people around them first, but Zumu was not like that. With a pair of piercing eyes, like the radar of Zubat, Zumu accurately scanned every young lady present. No, the quality is not good. The more Zumu sighed in his heart, the more he refused to give up hope. The system said that the young lady is here, and I will meet my soulmate here. However, after looking for a long time, he found that there was no young lady who was interested in him. The young ladies who came here, except for those who have a crush on someone, the rest are all determined to become stronger and come here to experience. Who would be like Zumu, who has everything he wants but lacks love? He came here specifically to find true love. Cool. Standing for an hour, what is the little master doing? Behind Zumu, Greninja used water energy from time to time to help Zumu cool down, who was exposed to the sun, and Charmander was responsible for absorbing the heat energy around Zumu to help him prevent heat stroke due to the strong sun. Chirp. You ask me, who should I ask? Charmander muttered speechlessly and looked at Zumu, who had been staring blankly in the sun looking for someone. He secretly groaned in his heart. I am afraid that there is no hope for my trainer. It's pitiful that I just came out of the mountain and had to experience the trainer's qualification being cancelled due to illness, resulting in all the Pokémon being released. I am so miserable. Chirp. Wait for him for another 10 minutes. If he still stares at the crowd and doesn't move, then I'll leave it to you. Greninja patted his chest and said proudly. Cool, don't worry, buddy, I'll have no problem leaving it to you. Feeling that the emotions of his two Pokémon were a little weird, Zumu withdrew his thoughts, relaxed a little, and hurriedly said, let's go deeper and take a look. There are some common bug-type Pokémon around here. There's nothing interesting. This sentence means different things to different people. Charmander thought Zumu had returned to normal. At the same time, in order for himself and Greninja to complete their training better, he took the initiative to go to the depths of the Tokaiwa forest to find opponents for them. At that time, he was so excited that he kept chirping, and Greninja thought Zumu was going to fight. Obviously, what the young master meant by this sentence just now was that he should control his temper first, and these weak elves should not take action, but go to the depths, where there are strong people to fight with. Cool. I got it. Don't worry, little master. When we get to the deep end, I will definitely kill everyone and let you know the result of my recent hard work. Showing the 2 gym badges he got for Zumu, Greninja showed his big white teeth and followed Zumu with a smile. As for Zumu himself, the meaning of this sentence is even simpler. There are some weak bug-type Pokémon here, which are common, weak, and not good-looking. The young ladies are unwilling to stay here and play with those bug-type Pokémon. That's why we have to go deep into the secret realm to see if we can meet our soulmate. As for what Charmander thinks is training, Greninja thinks it is fighting. Are you kidding? He never thought about it that way. Zumu has always stubbornly believed that the Pokémon don't have to be too strong, just enough is enough. Trainer? He doesn't want to be a trainer. Now he only wants to find the young lady predicted by the system. As for the others, it doesn't matter. Gradually walking towards the depths of the forest, Zumu avoided all kinds of jumping bug-type Pokémon along the way. Suddenly, he heard someone calling for help. Help! Zumu was immediately excited. It was the voice of the young lady. Don't panic, young lady. I'm coming. Chapter 20. Underage Sirona. The dream girl finally came. Zumu was extremely excited and ran deeper into the forest. There was a not very clear stream ahead. If nothing unexpected happened, the girl should have fallen into the water, Zumu thought, and hurriedly followed the source of the sound and ran downstream of the stream. Sure enough, after running less than 100 meters, Zumu saw the girl struggling in the water. She hugged the crying round land shark in her arms tightly and shouted desperately, "Is there anyone? Help, help." Zumu said nothing, although he didn't see the girl's appearance clearly. He judged based on his many years of experience as an LSP that this girl is definitely the best. No need to think about it, you must save her. Grenin, follow me. In fact, Zumu himself can't swim, living in the north. He is a complete landlubber. Fortunately, there is Greninja, otherwise he would have to live with this girl whose face he didn't see clearly today. Cool, why are you rushing down if you can't swim? Are you making trouble? After seeing Zumu fall into the water, he symbolically slid twice and began to sink. Greninja was speechless. Good man, you are really a talent. Standing on the shore, Greninja used a surfing trick to firmly control the water and the stream, and then with a leap, pulled Zumu and the young lady back to the shore. The young lady suddenly returned to the shore, and just as she was about to speak, she choked and coughed. Zumu secretly glanced at the young lady's belly and thought, she really drank a lot of water. Patting the young lady on the back, Zumu stepped forward and began to look at her carefully. The young lady has long golden hair. Although it was wet by the water, it is not difficult to see that this hair is definitely very nice in normal state. After looking at the hair, Zumu lowered his head and observed it from bottom to top. Sneakers, tight jeans, a very ordinary outdoor suit. The clothes are a black coat, with a light-colored base shirt inside. The touch on the base shirt looks good. Looking up again, Zumu suddenly touched his nose awkwardly. The little sister stopped choking and coughing at some point, and was looking at Zumu with a puzzled look on her face, not knowing what Zumu was doing. Ahem. Let me observe your situation. Are you okay? With a dry cough, Zumu asked a nonsense question. No problem. Thank you for saving me and the round land shark. The little sister supported her weak body and thanked Zumu. However, the moment their eyes met, Zumu was stunned. This. Oh my god, I made a fortune. This is not a little sister. This is Sirona. Damn, what's going on? Is there still Sirona in this world? Zumu stood there for a long time with his eyes wide open, not knowing what to say. The little sister, that is, Sirona, saw Zumu like this, turned her head in confusion and looked at the Koga Greninja. Cool. Greninja waved his hands quickly, indicating that he didn't know what was going on. Hello? Putting her hand in front of Zumu's eyes and waving it gently, Sirona tried to pull Zumu back from his wandering thoughts. Ah, sorry, I was distracted just now. Zumu came back to his senses, but he still couldn't believe that the girl in front of him was the famous Sinnoh champion Sirona in the original work. Observing her facial features carefully, Zumu found that the little sister was different from the Sirona in his memory, except that her age didn't match. She looked a little immature and didn't have Sirona's domineering temperament. In other aspects, the smiles and frowns between her eyebrows were exactly the same. My name is Zumu. My name is Sirona, from Western Europe. Seeing Zumu introduce himself, Sirona quickly answered, and at the same time, a faint smile unconsciously appeared at the corner of her mouth. The moment he saw Shirona's smile, Zumu admitted that he had fallen. "So, why did you come here alone?" Zumu began to rummage through his backpack and took out a towel and a coat from it. Shirona looked at Zumu's work with some embarrassment. Her backpack had been scattered when she fell into the water just now. "I'm here to travel. I heard that a new secret realm has been opened in the east, so I came to take a look." The East, Western Europe, the North and South Poles are the approximate geographical distribution of this world. Zumu was not surprised that Shirona came from Western Europe. After all, how could there be a big blonde beauty like her in the East? Traveling alone? Zumu put the towel on Shirona's head, handed her the coat, and then asked in surprise, "Yes, I have been admitted in advance by your Dongfang College in the East, and I can directly enroll next year. So, I thought about traveling to the East in advance this year to see the beautiful scenery here." Listening to Shirona's story, Zumu's eyes gradually flickered. "Great. Like-minded. Look, this is like-minded." Sure enough, Shirona and I are a match made in heaven. "What about you?" Taking off her coat that was still dripping with water, Shirona put on the coat that Zumu gave her, and then began to wipe her hair. Zumu couldn't help but chuckle when he saw Shirona asking him, "I'm about the same as you, but I didn't get admitted. The school gave me a year's vacation, and I'll go back for the unified examination next year." Seeing Zumu say this, Shirona was also a little surprised. Stopping the action of wiping her hair, Shirona hurriedly asked, "So you are also traveling by yourself?" Zumu nodded. "Yes, we are very predestined." Finding a natural tree hole, Zumu asked Greninja to drive away the Scyther that originally lived in it, and took Shirona in. "Charmander, can I borrow your tail for a while?" Holding a pile of dry firewood and branches, Zumu used the flame on Charmander's tail to light a bonfire. "I'll go outside first. You change your clothes. You'll get sick if you stay wet." Finally, a rack was set up next to the campfire. Zumu took out a spare set of clothes and gave it to Shirona before he walked out of the tree hole. When he got outside the cave, Zumu took a deep breath. It would be nice to have a cigarette at this moment, so he could smoke a cigarette to calm down. "I didn't expect that the girl of my destiny predicted by the system would be Shirona, who hasn't grown up yet." As a game master in his previous life, Zumu was naturally no stranger to Shirona. Apart from anything else, as the champion of Sinnoh, Shirona's domineering aura, the contrast with her usual cuteness, has attracted countless fans, and Zumu is also one of them. Interesting. I met Shirona, who hasn't realized the domineering side leakage yet. Wait, if she hasn't realized the domineering side leakage, doesn't that mean that Shirona is only cute now? Fuck, I made a fortune. Chapter 21, New Versus. Zumu, who had figured it out, shouted and almost rushed back into the tree hole in excitement. Fortunately, reason stopped him. Don't worry, you can't eat hot tofu in a hurry. I'll take my time, slowly conquer the goddess Sirona. Yes, slowly." Zumu kept patting his chest with his hands, trying to calm himself down. "Don't get excited, is it a big deal? I am a traverser after all, and a super traverser with a golden finger. I am so excited about such a small thing. What does it look like?" Taking a deep breath, Zumu gradually calmed down his boiling blood. "Thank you, dog system." Thinking of the system's previous prophecy, Zumu thanked the system for the first time. Then, the dog system is a dog system, and he is not worthy of Zumu's favor. The next second after Zumu thanked him, something strange happened. A thick fog suddenly appeared near Zumu, and it was almost pitch dark. In the fog, a huge figure loomed and was approaching Zumu. "Fuck, what is that?" Zumu didn't have time to think about it, and hurriedly called out Greninja. Just now, in order to make it easier for Shirona to change clothes, he put his two Pokémon back into the Pokeball. It was just in time to use it. Boom! With a loud bang, the huge figure in the fog jumped up and landed in front of Zumu. Zumu didn't have time to think about it, just roughly distinguished it, and then cursed. "Damn system, you are definitely playing tricks on me. Bringing Greninja to fight Entei in the Evergreen Forest. I thought you were joking with me about this task. Are you serious?" "Bah, if I'm buried here today, I won't be a trainer in this life. That's right, the figure in the fog is Entei. It was so abrupt, so inexplicable. Entei really came. Zumu felt that he was not feeling well. What is the origin of the system? Can he still control Entei? No. If he is so powerful, why would he choose me as the host? Wouldn't it be enough if he conquered the world directly? Just when Zumu was thinking about it, Yandy stepped forward and didn't give him time to continue guessing. Ah! With a light roar, Yandy looked at Zumu with burning eyes. What does it mean? What is this guy going to do? Is he really going to fight me? No way. Even if I am the protagonist, there is no need to be so open, right? Yandy came to me so far-fetchedly, and then was defeated and conquered by me? Damn, I dare not write novels like this. I will be sprayed to death by readers. You are looking for me. What's the matter? Zumu looked at Yandy vigilantly and asked. Cool, you are very strong. Do you want to fight me? Koga Ninja stood in front of Zumu, and the fighting spirit instantly boiled. Zumu naturally didn't know that his elf turned his back to him and went forward to provoke. He thought Koga Ninja was worried that Yandy would suddenly take action, so he stepped forward to warn him not to mess around. Sure enough, the facts prove how important it is to master a foreign language. Zumu was successfully led astray by Greninja. Ah, then let's fight. I'm also interested in you. Yandy has a bad temper. Seeing that there are elves challenging him, how could he refuse? Let's fight. Although he is not here to fight, Yandy instantly forgets the purpose of his trip when he mentions fighting. I seem to have something to do. What am I here for? Zumu, Yandy and Greninja have already talked about anger. It seems that they are ready to fight at any time. Just curse the dog system in your heart, then choose to strike first. Greninja, bond transformation. No matter what you come for, as long as you express the intention to fight, there is danger. Zumu thought so, and instantly completed the transformation with Greninja, and began to be on guard. Those who are close to vermilion will be red, and those who are close to ink will be black. Zumu didn't know that he had been infected by his overly cautious little dragon without knowing it. In fact, there was no need to fight. But for some reason, Yandy himself forgot what he came here for when he was so eager to fight. Roar! Yandy roared and fired a jet of flame without saying a word. Then he exerted force on his feet and followed the jet of flame with a move of sacred flame. Fuck, this guy didn't hold back. He really went all out. Zumu exclaimed, and quickly instructed Koga Ninja to dodge in his mind and prepare to counterattack. If nothing unexpected happens, Yandy should be at the peak of the master level. After Koga Ninja has transformed, it has the strength of an early master. It is not impossible to fight this guy. After all, in addition to the attribute restraining Yandy, Koga Ninja also has Zumu, a tactical master. Shadow Clone Technique, Flying Water Shuriken. Koga Ninja completed the seal of Shadow Clone Technique the moment the jet of flame reached in front of him. Then he stretched out his hands, and in each hand, a huge water spiral shuriken was thrown at Yandy, who was charging. The mastery of ninjutsu and the Rasengan that he had acquired previously allowed Greninja to successfully integrate the Shadow Clone trick with ninjutsu and develop the Shadow Clone technique. The Water Rasen Shuriken is a combination of the Rasengan and the Water Shuriken. Now Greninja has vaguely resembled the shadow of Uzumaki Naruto from Shippuden. Bang! 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 The shadow summoned by the Shadow Clone technique is not just a shadow, but an energetic clone. There are more than a dozen Greninja using the Water Rasen Shuriken, not just one, but more than one. In an instant, more than 30 shurikens were fired, directly repelling Entei, who was using the sacred flame. Ouch! What? Entei was knocked aside and was stunned. What's going on? The sacred flame is a super trick that only a divine beast can master. Now, it was actually defeated head-on by this frog. Ignoring Entei's shock, Greninja took advantage of the victory to pursue. After using the Spiral Water Shuriken, the clones that were running out of energy and disintegrated gradually disappeared into the air. However, before they disappeared, they used the method of a human ladder to push Greninja into the air. Greninja, which fell from the sky, was affected by gravity and was wrapped in water all over. A palm technique that fell from the sky appeared. Well, it was surfing. Entei couldn't dodge in time and was hit head-on by Greninja's attack. It hurts. It really hurts. Ouch! Entei cried out in pain. At this moment, He felt his head buzzing. "You pissed me off, bastard." After saying the harsh words, Entei couldn't bear it this time. First he roared, and then the roar increased his momentum. Entei stomped his feet violently, on the ground. Cracks gradually appeared on the ground, and Entei's body began to burn with crimson flames. Full power mode, turned on. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We are waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 22, Shaking Hands for 10 minutes is a custom. As the flames burned more and more, the strength of the Flame Emperor was gradually rising. Master Peak, early stage of the Master, middle stage of the Master, late stage of the Master, peak of the Master. This is the strength that a divine beast should have. Under normal circumstances, the Flame Emperor would restrain his fighting power, not because he was a dog, but because he had to hide his strength. Once the legendary elves appeared, they would trigger strange phenomena between heaven and earth, and they would also expose their own positions because of the appearance of strange phenomena. Therefore, the Flame Emperor did not use all his strength at the beginning. It was just that I didn't expect that the Koga Ninja was so strong. The continuous suppression made the Flame Emperor angry. Look, as the Flame Emperor turned on the full power state, a pillar of fire that soared into the sky went straight through the clouds. The whole sky was like being dyed red by the flames, and the clouds turned red. Cool. Fuck, you can also transform? Seeing the deep red flames burning on the Flame Emperor's body and his strength rising step by step, the Koga Ninja exclaimed. Speed. Fire Fang. Almost in an instant, the Flame Emperor bit the Koga Ninja, who had no time to dodge. Then, the full-powered Entei calmly glanced at the frog struggling in his mouth, shook his head and threw it out. It's over. I'm in trouble. Before I came out, I clearly promised Feng Wang that I would not turn on the full power state and not let humans find my whereabouts. It's over. It's over. Something happened. Something big happened. Hastily retracting the flames on his body, Entei jumped out of Zumu's sight in 2 or 3 steps. He disappeared very quickly. Ding. Congratulations to the host for completing the Koga Ninja sign-in task. Carry or use Koga Ninja to fight Entei. Get the reward of the Heart of the Ocean. Start the next stage of the sign-in task. Please check it yourself, and keep up the good work. Zumu's face was scary black. It was not because Koga Ninja was defeated by Entei that he turned black, but because he felt that he was tricked by the dog system again. What is the purpose of Entei coming here? Did you arrange for him? System, tell me, what's the point of directing and acting like this? Why don't you just issue a task and let me become the strongest trainer in the world by sitting at home? Then you can use whatever conspiracy you have. Isn't it okay for me to watch you show off? What does this mean? And Entei came out of nowhere. Do you think I'm stupid? Can't you see that you arranged this? Zumu was so angry that his liver was shaking. What the hell is this? You made an Entei for me when you didn't agree with me? Are you idle? Are you sick? Ding. Please don't misunderstand the system. The system will never actively interfere with the host's life. The system couldn't help it. It's okay for you to curse a few words normally, but this time it's not my fault. Why should I bear it? Why did the Entei come? He didn't come to find you. It's none of your business. It was your frog who insisted on fighting with others. What did the system do to you? If you curse the system like this, won't the system feel wronged? What bad intentions can the system have? It just wants you to become stronger. Zumu was stunned by the system's prompt. Damn it, do you think I would believe it? Only a fool would believe that Yane was not arranged by you. Feeling unhappy, Zumu complained again. And then he looked at the Greninja who had returned to his side. Are you okay? He stepped forward to observe the injuries of Greninja, and found that the Yande did not really bite the frog to death. So Zumu was relieved. Cool, I lost. Please punish me, young master. Greninja lowered his head and suddenly knelt on one knee, looking like I was going to take the blame. Well, he is a divine beast, it is natural that he is strong, you don't have to compete with him. Zumu thought that Greninja was unhappy because he lost the fight, so he smiled and comforted him. Also, you are already very strong. Don't always think about getting stronger, there is no need. Hearing Zumu's words, Greninja was a little confused. No need to get stronger? How can that be? How can I protect my little master if I don't become stronger? Ah, I understand. My little master is definitely trying to motivate me, using the irony of speaking to make me remember the lesson of this failure. Cool, don't worry, little master, I will definitely remember this lesson. Defeating the Entei in the future is my first goal. I will become a super god Pokemon sooner or later. Zumu saw that Greninja listened to his words. Not only did he not lose his fighting spirit, but his eyes flashed with blazing fire, and he clenched his fists and looked at him with full motivation. He instantly understood that this guy definitely didn't listen to his words, otherwise, he misunderstood. Forget it. Pokemon also have their own ideas. Since Greninja wants to become stronger, I will support him. Anyway, as long as the remaining Pokemon are not like this, I will not become a trainer. It's impossible that every Pokemon of mine is so strong, right? I don't believe it. Did something happen outside just now? Shyarona walked out of the tree hole. She had dried her clothes and put them on again. Seeing Zumu and the injured Greninja, and the mess outside the tree hole, Shyarona asked doubtfully. Zumu didn't know how to explain. Should I say that Yandy came just now and fought with me, and he ran away after winning? Would she believe it? If it were me, I wouldn't believe it anyway. Ahem, nothing happened. Have you packed up? Changing the subject, Zumu touched his nose awkwardly. Will lying really make your nose grow? Well, I've changed my clothes, thank you, Zumu. Shyarona stretched out her hand and thanked Zumu elegantly and gracefully. Zumu quickly handed over his wolf paw and held Shyarona's delicate hands together. The moment the two hands touched, Zumu only had one word left in his heart. Ah, so soft. Heart melted. Carefully stroking Shyarona's little hand, Zumu patiently savored the smoothness from the inside out. For a long time. Zumu, can you let go? Shyarona's little face was already red. Does it take 10 minutes to shake hands? My hands are sweating from your shaking. Zumu finally reacted, coughed dryly and retracted his wolf claws. Then he secretly regretted that he was too abrupt, worried that Shyrona would be afraid of him, and he almost forced an explanation. In my hometown, the longer the handshake, the more respect it shows for the other person. Yeah, that's it. Just like the etiquette of kissing on the cheek in Western Europe, it's a custom. After hearing Zumu's explanation, Shyrona seemed to have opened the door to a new world, and raised her head in a daze. So that's it. Sure enough, customs around the world are different. Seeing that Shyrona actually believed what he said, Zumu was stunned for a moment. Oh my god, cute Shyrona, she is so adorable. I really want to take her home. What should I do? Chapter 23. My name is Society, a new name. Oh my god, this violent salamander is too arrogant. Just when Zumu was fascinated by Miss Shyrona, a violent salamander was flying low and passed over their heads. Zumu complained and thought that the matter was over. As a result, the violent salamander turned back and stopped beside Zumu and the others. Hey, kid, did you see the pillar of fire that just appeared? On the violent salamander was a middle-aged uncle wearing a black cloak. I don't know. I didn't see it. I don't understand. Zumu directly refused 3 times in a row, without even looking at the violent salamander. He took Shyrona's hand again and walked into the tree hole. Well, he just wanted to hold hands. Finding an opportunity to hold the little sister's hand is the key. Huh? The middle-aged uncle was stunned by Zumu's reaction. And then he was furious. You don't respect a quasi-king? Boy, you're looking for death. Zumu gave the violent salamander in the sky a cold look for pretending to be cool when he disagreed with her. Uncle, whose chain is not tied, let you out to find a sense of existence. Stopping, Zumu stood in front of Shyrona, first protecting his little sister, and then retorted. Can a time traveler who can't scold others still be called a time traveler? Just kidding. Zumu, have 100 ways to scold you and cry without spitting out dirty words. You are being arrogant with me, your sister. Do you think you are a king? The uncle was stunned by the retort. He hesitated for a long time, and didn't know what to say to refute Zumu. Indeed, he just wanted to find a sense of existence because he saw Shyrona was pretty. Moreover, according to his age, There is nothing wrong with Zumu calling him uncle. Koga Ninja, this uncle who is not strong enough but still wants to find a sense of existence is left to you. Let Koga Ninja, who is sitting next to him and spraying medicine on himself, come over. And Zumu chuckled. Cool. Is there going to be another fight? Greninja joins, instantly bursting out with the strength of a king. Greninja stared at the violent salamander in the air and laughed. The uncle was confused again. This kid, is he not even older than my son? Where did a king-level elf come from? Hee, forget it. I have other things to do, so how can I have time to mess around with a kid like you? The uncle forced himself to add drama, and found a reasonable excuse, ready to run away. There is no way. This kid is too strong. What can he do? He is also helpless. Forget it. Forget it. I didn't check the almanac before going out today, so I'd better retreat first. The middle-aged uncle tightened his cloak helplessly and prepared to leave, but Zumu was not going to do it. What's the matter? You come and go as you please. You want to run after pretending to be cool. It's okay to run, but you also say harsh words. Do you think I am a breast? You can pinch it whenever you want. Don't go, uncle. The sun is not too hot, and the breeze is just right. Wouldn't it be nice to have a fight with my Greninja? Zumu's lazy tone, in the eyes of the middle-aged uncle, was like a ghost urging his life. In the wild, the weak must respect the strong. This is the rule. In the secret realm, all kinds of electronic equipment fail, and strength is everything. If you don't respect the strong, then the end is self-evident, and those who understand will understand. Well, there is no need to fight. My friends are still waiting for me. We have a mission. The uncle's forehead was sweating, and he wanted to move out his backstage, that is, his mercenary team. The strong in this world will choose to sit in one place, enjoy fame and gain resources, and have a reliable livelihood. After all, being a trainer is not only a dangerous job, but also a costly job. But there are always some people who are either ugly, not smart enough, or want to die. Those who are unwilling to sit in one place or no one wants him to sit in one place can only form a mercenary team, explore the secret realm, complete various tasks, and live on this. The middle-aged uncle in a dilemma belongs to the latter. It has come to this, uncle. You are really obsessed with face and suffer in life. Zumu said murderously, and tightened his grip on Chirona's hand. So soft is face so important? You are still not respectful enough and honest enough to treat the strong. Your friends? Let them come. I will fight together. Zumu didn't have to beat this middle-aged uncle or anything, but he just couldn't stand his arrogant look. People in society are sinister, and the least valuable thing is face. This uncle doesn't understand this truth at such an old age. After provoking Zumu, he still wants to maintain his face. Isn't this offending people? In general, it's because Zumu is too young and he despises Zumu. In this case, Zumu doesn't mind being a villain to teach this middle-aged uncle that he can't get by in society like this, and he will get a lesson sooner or later. The uncle's thoughts were exposed by Zumu, and he was speechless. He looked at Zumu with some resentment. I'm sorry, sir. I was wrong. I shouldn't have said such arrogant words. In front of strength, the uncle still bowed his head. He let the violent salamander land, walked to the ground and apologized obediently. However, Zumu raised his eyelids and shook his head. Uncle, you still don't understand. With a sigh, Zumu continued, can't you take back that resentful look in your eyes? Do you think I'm stupid? Or do you think I'm blind? I really don't understand. How can someone like you live to such an old age? You are the one who died in the first episode of the TV series. Alas, do you know what you did wrong? You still have the face to apologize to me and say such arrogant words. Aren't you embarrassed by this excuse? After Zumu finished speaking, he shook his head in disappointment. This is just a fool. With this IQ, it's fortunate that he met a kind person like me. Otherwise, he would be sold sooner or later, and he would still ask for money with a smile. I will help you count. Forget it. Don't pretend to be surprised. You might be scolding me in your heart. Seeing the middle-aged uncle's surprised look, Zumu sneered. This man just deserves a beating and training. There's nothing I can do. Who made Zumu a kind man? This kind of beating and training work is what I like the most. Chirona, let's go to the tree hole to rest. Charmander said he was hungry. The Charmander on the side was a little confused, but after seeing Zumu's eyes, he understood. Yo, yes, I'm hungry. Shyarona didn't know what was going on. Her big eyes were full of confusion. What about this uncle? Zumu chuckled and took her little hand to walk into the tree hole. Let the society teach this uncle how to be a man. I can't control it. After that, he took the ignorant Shyarona and walked into the tree hole. Koga Ninja, who stayed in place, waited for Zumu to enter the tree hole before grinning. Cool, let me introduce myself. My name is Shui, a name I just changed. My little master said that he doesn't care about you. Let me train you. Chapter 24 Art Master Zumu. In the tree hole, Zumu, by the light of the fire, was mixing Pokemon food and lunch while looking at Shyrona's beautiful face. His heart was so happy. Mom, I seem to have found true love. This little sister, I must chase her. Why is it so noisy outside? Did something happen? Shyrona is cute, but not stupid. She is just a little similar to that silly thing Ziozi, with a pure heart and an absolute talent for fighting. As for things outside of fighting, she doesn't care. Hearing screams coming from outside the tree hole, Shyrona asked Zumu, that, outside the tree hole? Zumu couldn't help covering his mouth with laughter, not knowing how to explain. Suddenly, he had an idea. There was a pillar of fire rising to the sky in the evergreen forest just now. There may be some legendary elves appearing, so it's a bit chaotic outside. This sound should be a fight. It's chaotic outside now, and fighting is common. Remember to hold my hand when you go out later, otherwise I'm afraid I won't be able to protect you in time if you encounter danger. After Zumu finished speaking, he felt that he was such a smart little clever ghost. I can think of this excuse to hold hands. I'm really unique. Shyrona blinked her big eyes, a little confused. Danger? Is it related to holding hands? Zumu hurriedly explained. Of course, if an elf suddenly appears and attacks us, I can catch you in the first time and help you resist the damage. Shyrona nodded in relief, although she still had some doubts in her heart. Her intuition told her that there was a problem, but Shyrona didn't want to think too much. Thinking too much was too tiring. Zumu was such a good person, he just saved her and now prepared lunch for her. Such a good person would not lie. After a long time, Koga Ninja clapped his hands and walked into the tree hole. Hurry up and eat, we've been waiting for you. Solved? Cool. Must. Zumu looked at him and smiled knowingly. It should be said that although Zumu is casual, he still has a bad temper. A real villain who will take revenge for every grievance is one of Zumu's more distinctive characteristics. This uncle pretended to be better than Zumu in front of the young lady. It would be unreasonable for Zumu not to teach him a lesson. Fortunately, the young lady is Shyrona this time, and fortunately Zumu is strong. Otherwise, the uncle's pretentious face slap will definitely affect Zumu's impression in front of the young lady. Therefore, Koga Ninja must teach him a lesson to let him know how to behave in the future. And Zumu felt that there was nothing wrong with what he did. Your parents are unwilling to teach you the little skills of social survival, so I will teach you. How kind I am. I will teach you for free, and I don't charge tuition. After dinner, Zumu got Shyrona's hand as he wished, and the two of them set off. Have you made any plans for your trip here? Zumu asked happily, enjoying the smoothness of Shyrona's little hands. Plan? Shyrona was puzzled and raised her head to think about it. I don't think so. Is it a plan to go wherever is good looking? Zumu shook his head, and was ecstatic. I didn't make a plan. It's better to be casual. This way I have a chance. Ha 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 ha. It just so happens that I am also planning to travel outside for a year to see the beautiful scenery of this world. Let's go together. Invitation. An open invitation. Zumu knew that for a pure girl like Shyrona, don't beat around the bush, only being straightforward is the hard truth. Okay. Shyrona agreed quickly. You are the first friend I made in the East. Hearing Shyrona say this, Zumu smiled. This smile is not mixed with a trace of impurities. 3 parts gentleness, 3 parts frankness, and 4 parts sunshine. It is very much like the big brother next door, giving people a sense of trust. It's such an honor. Shyrona is also the first friend from Western Europe that I know, Zumu said, raising Shyrona's little hand. Friendship lasts forever. Shirona smiled happily and followed Zumu, saying, yes. Friendship lasts forever. The round land shark suddenly jumped up from the ground and bit Zumu's head. You bastard. I've seen something wrong with you for a long time. You definitely want to capture my cute little girl. I'll bite you to death. The round land shark had been displeased with Zumu all the way, and had always suspected that Zumu was trying to get Shirona. But now, he finally confirmed that Zumu was trying to get Shirona. If you mess with my cute little girl, I'll bite you to death. Zumu was bitten and caught off guard. Ah, round land shark, what are you doing? Let go. Shirona looked at the round land shark that suddenly attacked Zumu in shock and shouted quickly. The round land shark hurriedly explained, this guy wants to get your body. I'm going to bite him to death. We're all men. How can I not know what he's thinking? Damn it, I can't even speak clearly after biting him. Round land shark waved his little hands, wanting to say something excitedly, but unfortunately, he couldn't say it. Moreover, even if he said it, it would be useless, and Shirona couldn't understand it. Let go, round land shark. Shirona was a little angry. She stepped forward and grabbed the body of round land shark, asking him to let go. Due to Shirona's obstruction, round land shark still failed to bite Zumu to death, but only left a row of teeth marks on Zumu's head without any pain. Zumu, are you okay? I'm sorry, round land shark has been very well behaved before. I didn't expect him to bite you suddenly. Shirona was so anxious that she almost cried, looking at Zumu with red and swollen eyes, and apologized again and again. As a LSP, Zumu guessed what round land shark was thinking at the first time. However, it's just an elf. Fighting with me? You're still a little naive. It's okay. The round land shark must be joking with me. Zumu forced a smile and continued. I remember that the teeth of the round land shark develop very quickly, and they often like to bite things. Shirona nodded. The round land shark did often bite things and destroy the house. However, looking at Zumu worriedly, Shirona wanted to say that the round land shark had never bitten anyone before. I'm really fine. The round land shark didn't bite my head hard at all. It must be biting me because it likes me. Zumu continued to explain. Not only did he pretend to be indifferent, he also looked at the round land shark and said, you said so, right, round land shark. The round land shark looked sullenly at the big cutie being deceived by Zumu, coaxed into a daze, and didn't care about himself who punched hard for her. Seeing Zumu mentioned himself, the round land shark was about to deny it. Suddenly, I felt a strong pressure coming. It's Koga Ninja. Boy, think about it. If you say nonsense, I will change my name to society at any time. The round land shark was instantly scared. Ah, he instantly turned into a well-behaved little cutie, jumped into Zumu's arms, and let Zumu rub his big head. Chapter 25, Come and Capture Emperor Yen. Zumu held the big head of the round land shark and smiled with satisfaction. Little thing, can't I cure you? We are all men. Of course you know what I am thinking, but you definitely don't know that your opponent is a LSP who has mastered the T-art skills. You are not worthy of being my love rival. Really? Seeing that the round land shark was ravaged by Zumu, he still endured it with a smile on his face. Shirona said, I don't understand. Yes, you don't understand the friendship between boys. Zumu smiled sunny, although the row of teeth marks on his head affected his image, but it did not affect his drinking of green tea. Koga Ninja, if you have a chance in the future, teach him a lesson for me. Zumu gave Koga Ninja a look and said in his heart. Koga Ninja nodded quickly. Got it? This kid can't run away. Sir, based on the concentration of the residual flame energy, we can infer that the legendary elf that appeared this time is definitely the Emperor Yen. Okay, I know. Let everyone go to the evergreen forest now. Yes. In the newly appeared secret realm of the east, there are strange images of divine beasts. Let's go and take a look. Chief, there are strange images of divine beasts in the evergreen secret realm, and the people below report that it may be the Emperor Yen. The old man bent down and reported to a man with a majestic face. Emperor Yen, let's let a few venerables go and take a look. The man was the chief of the east, The person in power of the East Alliance, venerables, in the East, are above the gym owner. It's not that venerables are necessarily stronger than gym owners, but most venerables serve the Alliance and often perform some tasks, which requires running around, similar to the four heavenly kings in the elf comics. Okay, then let the Dongthun venerable, the Heo venerable, and the Tanshu venerable go and take a look. The chief nodded, indicating that it was okay. While Zumu and Miss Shirona were chatting and cultivating their feelings, the top masters from all over the world were gathering in the secret realm. Cool. Little master, something seems to be wrong here. There are often all kinds of cute little animals in the forest, and they will jump out suddenly and scare you. Under normal circumstances, Zumu would not feel much about walking in the forest, but now there is a little sister. Zumu said that he can take Shirona with him for a year holding hands like this. What's wrong? Zumu, who was telling Shirona a little joke, was suddenly interrupted by the Koga Ninja, and felt a little unhappy. Koga Ninja was speechless. You forgot me when you had a girl. Cool. It seems that someone is fighting in front. Koga Ninja pointed to the distance and gestured a few times. Zumu frowned slightly. Fighting? Shirona, there is a fight over there. Do you want to go and see? Turning around, Zumu's face changed instantly, and he asked Shirona with a smile on his face. Let's not go. Shirona is not a nosy person. She doesn't want to get involved in things that have nothing to do with her. Zumu thought to himself, I knew it. Otherwise I wouldn't ask you. In fact, he didn't want to go either. When you are out, it's better to have less trouble than more. At the moment, it is more important to cherish the world of two people with Shirona. However, even if Zumu doesn't want to go, he is destined to have a lot of trouble as the protagonist. Fuck. Zumu gritted his teeth and cursed when he heard an explosion in his ears. I knew I couldn't avoid this kind of shit. He immediately blocked Shirona behind him and looked at the explosion. A dragon fell to the ground, with burns all over its body, and it had lost its ability to fight. Zumu, Shirona exclaimed, looking at Zumu with big eyes. The meaning is very simple. Let's save him. Zumu was speechless, responded to Shirona with his most enthusiastic eyes, and then stepped forward with a bitter face. The injury of Changlong seems to be caused by Yendi. Zumu took a look and was surprised to find that this Changlong was burned by Yendi's flame. Koga Ninja, are you feeling better? Cool, little master, there is no problem with me. Seeing this guy jumping around, Zumu was relieved. Okay, then you bandage Changlong and treat the burns, and then we will go to see the situation. After Zumu finished speaking, he turned back to Shirona and naturally took Shirona's hand. What? I am responsible for bandaging? I am just an elf. Is it easy for me? Forget it. Fortunately Koga Ninja, am all-rounder. Otherwise what will happen if the little master loses me? Start working. Go, go. Koga Ninja cheered himself up with a lot of thoughts, and started to bandage Changlong seriously. It's just a burn treatment. No big deal. I am Greninja on the battlefield. Ahem. I have treated Charmander's burns many times. It's not a big problem. After taking a sneak peek and seeing that Land Shark and Charmander didn't pay attention to him, Greninja breathed a sigh of relief. He talked too much and talked too much. 10 minutes later, Greninja bandaged Long, and Zumu led the team to the battle in the distance. Good fellow, you don't know until you see it. You will be shocked. It was indeed Emperor Yan who injured Long, but Emperor Yan is not easy now. More than a dozen people, more than 30 elves, underground, on the ground, and in the air. The Trinity double-teamed Emperor Yan. These elves, let alone other things, just look at the momentum they exude. The weakest is also the king level. The strong ones even have the peak of masters. Good fellow. Did Emperor Yan dig up the ancestors' graves of the strong? Zumu murmured. Shirona on the side was also a little confused. She didn't know about others, but she knew the group of Western European forces that besieged Emperor Yan. Uncle Tatu, Sister Leona. When Zumu heard that Shirona knew the strong man over there, the big claw holding her little hand subconsciously loosened. It would be embarrassing if this fooling little girl was caught by her parents. Huh? Seeing Zumu suddenly let go, Sharona was a little uncomfortable for a while, subconsciously turned her wrist and grabbed Zumu's big claw with her backhand. Zumu was speechless. That's all. Fooling one person is a liar. Fooling a group is a saint. Today, I, Zumu, will go all out. Holding hands is holding hands. Sharona has taken the initiative. How can I, Zumu, be afraid? Seeing more than 30 elves besieging Emperor Yen on the field, Sharona was a little confused. Zumu, you said they are all here to catch Emperor Yen? Sharona murmured. Zumu opened his mouth, not knowing how to answer. Is that right? Hearing this, Sharona lowered her head a little gloomy. Zumu understood what she was thinking, because they were the same kind of people who truly loved elves. It's okay, I'll go stop them. Reaching out and gently ruffling Sharona's hair, Zumu stood up straight and took a big step forward. You guys over there, stop it. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.